Hello, and
Hello.
thank you for joining this. Hey, look here, man. I
Momentous,
was trying, I was
momentous
trying to put on
occasion.
my, my professional voice,
Nah, we
but
know
y'all
what that
already
sound like.
laughing at me.
Nah, we already know what that sound like. That sound like straight penguin, dude. And my name is Don Kim, and
Hey, hey, hey,
I'm
hey, most
I'm a
deaf, man,
computer
most deaf.
programmer. Yeah, yeah, we
You know what I'm
already know.
saying? I sound like most deaf.
Most of
You
who?
know, most deaf.
It,
Oh, you saying
well, you got to watch 16 blocks
right,
to
right,
get
right.
No, no, I know
Yeah,
who he's talking about.
yeah.
yeah. When you march 16 blocks, you're gonna be like, yep. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good?
Hey,
Hey,
what's up,
Kelly. Hey,
people?
Sam. Hey, Taylor. Thanks for joining. We got an exciting show tonight. We got three beautiful ladies. The fellas. We're gonna have an awesome conversation about why they single, some of the dating challenges that are happening in 2020, 2021, whatever year we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? My name is Doc Kim, aka Mr. Sniffles tonight, because my allergies really got me bad tonight. You know? But, I'm gonna pass it on. We're gonna get rolling, Paul
What up? What up?
and
It's the
perfect
OG,
OG.
aka Mr. Smell Good. Over here, just about to chop it up with the ladies and figure this thing out. Trying to bridge some gaps and have some communication going on. What it go? How it go, Jay?
What's
Jay,
going on?
Jay,
What's going
Jay.
on? Glad to be here
All
again.
right.
Can you hear me? Hello, hello,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hear you.
hello. Okay. I'm always having technical difficulties. So, yeah, man, glad to be here again with the ladies talking about relationships and being single. And, see where we can go with this, how we can help each other out, man. Just, I'm always grubbing over here at the restaurant in the back room eating chicken wings. So, what up, Rob? What you
What's up, man? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Rob Deasy, Mr. Keep It 1000 Wow. We got some lovely ladies on the show tonight. Hopefully we got some good topics we're gonna talk about, and hopefully everybody stays tuned in. What's going on, ladies? How you doing, Gia?
Hi, I'm Gia Marie, Pasadena, California. I'm
Mhm.
52, single, never been married, don't have any children. I'm an Aries. Um, what can I say?
And Aries?
That,
Yeah,
that
to the
Aries did it
Maybe
profile.
you
all
all
right
have
there.
some answers for me today.
Mm,
The whole profile.
mm.
Hey,
Okay.
Yeah, right? That
oh
was a
no,
whole
Oh
game
man.
profile, right? I
I
thought we was
know,
on a
right?
dating show, right?
Get somebody to
What?
go
How,
ahead and
how, tall,
apply
how
right
tall are
there.
you?
Man.
How tall are
I
you?
told him I'm 5'4".
5'4". All
And
right.
I'm athletic. I run all the time. 5 miles is my average. I do hikes every week. So yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
Welcome, Gia.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hey
Talika.
everyone, I am Talika and I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 50 years old. I just turned 50 in March. I am single, been single for a while, and I am a Pisces.
Hey, girl.
All right.
Hey. Hi, everybody. My
Is
name
that
is
like fish?
Tondra.
Is that fish?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Hey, Jay, stop interrupting,
okay.
man.
Hmm.
Let Tandra introduce herself. Go
I
ahead,
like
Tandra.
fish, man.
Mhm.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tondra. I am calling from the best DC
Hmm.
area. actually live in Maryland. I am 50 years old. I am divorced with one 25-year-old daughter. And I hail from Howard
Hmm.
University here in DC. So
Yeah,
I'm glad to be with
Pisces.
you guys.
Ooh,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Robin
I
J.
Welcome.
gotta stay around. Black don't crack.
Heavy.
Robin J. Take it
Black.
away.
Oh my god.
All right.
Go ahead, Jay.
What
You have
is
some
it?
questions, Jay?
So
Let's go.
of course I got some
Let's
questions.
go.
So I mean, obviously, there's the question of why. I mean, I think it's a it's a trick question, right? Why are you single? If you would have answered that question, this is one of the most annoying questions I ever get. But we all get it, right? So if somebody would have asked you that dumbass question, what would you say?
Oh, wow. What would I say? Why am I single? I guess because I vibrate on a different frequency than most people. I guess I'm super uber strong. I'm independent. I speak my mind. There's no sugar or honey on it because it was never given to me like that. So yeah. But I'm also very giving. I'm very I give all in a relationship. I think too much at times. So, it leaves me empty and, shattered most days and pick up the pieces, put on a smile and keep it pushing. I don't know. Good. I don't know why I'm single. I really don't.
So you believe your strength is blocking you from finding someone, or you
It
think they
could,
can't deal with it?
maybe, maybe.
So
I find that in my situations, I seem to attract everyone who has a wife, significant other, a living baby mama. Single people don't approach me. That's
Mm,
that's very rare. And if it is a single man, he's busy. So he's too busy to really participate in the courting process. They're too busy to talk on the phone, or they don't like to text all the time, or, that type of thing. And, it makes it difficult to engage when we're not physically in the same space. So what is a single woman to do if you're too busy to talk? You don't like being on the
mhm.
phone. You don't like texting. So, okay, so how do we do this? So I
It's
just
called
wait
lazy
until
dating.
you have time for me?
It's lazy dating.
There you go. There,
I
yeah,
don't
I believe that. I believe that.
I don't
oh,
even think that question is posed should be posed to the women. I think
Mhm.
that should be posed to whomever we're with. I don't know. I think if we
Yeah.
could answer that question, we would be where
Hmm.
we wanted to be, right?
Right.
So
Right.
Agree.
so
Yeah.
if
True.
everybody could answer that question for
Yeah.
themselves, you know, you wouldn't be single because you would fix all of those
Not a
whys, right?
problem.
Right.
And
Right.
it'd be no reason for the question
It's a trick
because I
question,
would
man.
know and I would
It
fix
is a trick question.
Hmm.
I don't think
Yeah,
that
because you're
matters
not
though,
in a
because
relationship. That's
even
the answer.
well, I don't think that matters because even if you quote unquote fixed yourself, um, you still have to be compatible with somebody. You know what I mean?
True.
Hmm.
So
It's true.
the other person, still has to appreciate the fixing that you did.
True.
I agree.
Yeah.
True.
and how many people actually go back to their exes and say and ask, well,
Right.
why did you leave and what could I do
Mm.
better?
It's
Because
a lot of
usually
women who
you
do.
mad.
It's a lot of women. Let me tell you what. It's a lot of women who do because women seek
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
closure as
They
Yep.
opposed to
do.
men.
That's
Men
true.
don't
Yep.
seek
Women
closure.
see
We're
well
like,
too.
oh, okay, you know what? I don't even want to
It's
deal with
good.
it, talk about it. I'm
Right.
on something else.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So outside of that, so what have you guys found as the biggest challenge in dating? I mean, Jill, we kind of heard a little bit of yours, but what do you guys find as the biggest challenges in dating these days?
And Miss
Um,
Honestly.
Talika, I think Miss Talika needs to speak.
Oh, sorry.
Hmm.
yeah, for me, I can't really say for right now. I haven't been dating in a minute. And that's
Hmm.
a choice. That's something that I chose to do because I chose to do a backup and kind of work on me. Because when
Hmm.
I was dating, what I pulled in was grown boys and not grown men. So
Hmm.
I decided to figure out what was it about me that was pulling in what I was pulling in
Right.
and to work on a couple of different things about myself.
Right.
So I heard you say something about the work on me. So what
Mhm.
does that really mean? And when do you feel like you get to a point where you're ready to step back out there again?
I'm almost to that point now, but I had some things. I mean, I can be real with me and say, hey, there was some things about me that I needed to get in check. There was a point where, a lot of times we carry our past with us. So for me, there were childhood trauma, different type of things, and I was a hostile person. I
Mm,
didn't want to admit that at some point, but when somebody tells you that so many times, you have to accept it. And I think I really
Right.
knew that
mhm.
I was, but I wasn't accepting of it until finally I said, okay, what? Because I can pinpoint somebody else's issues, but what about standing in the
Hmm.
mirror and pinpointing my own? So that's
Yes.
what I decided to do.
What
Take
what what was
ownership
what was
of
that
my
moment
shit.
look? What did that moment look like? Like, damn, they
That
right.
moment, that moment looked
Mhm.
like I was with a bomb ass dude.
Hmm.
And we ended up breaking up. And after the breakup, I said, you know what? You need to take a break. You need to push back, learn how to be good with you, and then decide to get back out there when it's time for you to get back out there. When you get good with the things that I needed to work on within me, had nothing to do with anybody else. It was just things that I wasn't receiving about myself.
So did you ever holler back at dude? Be like, look, you bomb, and the problem was me, but I'm trying to
Nah,
fix
he
this.
wasn't a bum. He
He was
no.
bummed.
No,
Like a bum.
he was bum. I just said I didn't want to deal with bum anymore. So, but I have saw him recently, and he's even more bum. But it's to a place that now I really cared about that dude. So I still care about you, but I can't. I don't need to be connected to you.
I
So
Hmm.
got you.
that's how I know the work that I did worked, because I was the type that even if you done told me through so much bullshit, I would still at some time at some point allow you to come in my life. So I had to push my worth up some.
Mm.
That's
You
what's
know
up.
what I call that, guys? I call that vulnerability management, right?
There it is.
You manage your vulnerability in that moment with this guy that's a bum, and now he's not good for you. So you take the appropriate actions to put up the right, you know, boundaries. So yeah,
Yeah,
good on you
exactly.
for that, man. That takes a lot. That takes a lot of swallowing of pride. You know what I mean, and dealing with the hard reality about yourself.
Yeah,
And a lot of people don't have that. We have to grow into that. Like we have to
yeah,
really get sick and tired of what we're going through, and
yeah,
Hmm.
decide to say, hey, you know what? It's time to just to sit down and just and go through. It's time to go through and process what's going on in this moment, and it's me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's when I think people are awake. They finally you are awake right now. Like you finally you're finally
yeah,
gonna get to exist appropriately.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Because as
so good on you.
women, we pull in the same relationships over and over again, but you never want to. Sometimes you don't want to take the time to look in that mirror and say, "What is it about me that's allowing the same type of person to continue to come into my life?" So That's when I said,
Hmm.
"Okay, press pause, pump the brakes." You know what I mean? Let me check myself and see why am I allowing this into my space.
Hmm.
Do you other ladies
Amen.
have
God
similar
bless you.
similar experiences with that, as
I
far
mean,
as recognizing
I
that you're
Yeah, I just recently went through that, and it wasn't so much that I was toxic, but I was attracting it. To me, it was like I was attracting unavailable men because, we all want to go back
mm,
to your childhood because my father, as much as I love him and as much as I spent time with him, he wasn't, he was just there. Okay. Like, I don't know his favorite color. We didn't have conversations when I was a kid, like, kids do with their parents or whatever. I don't recall that. We were in the same house. He was in the room reading in one room, and I was somewhere else doing my own thing, but we never were like cuddled up on the couch or doing stuff like that. I mean, we did have those moments, but I don't recall conversations like that. I don't feel an attachment or closeness to him. Never did. He was just this man that I saw every other weekend, and I got to play with my sisters, and so there was a time period that we didn't have any contact for years. We were like looking for each other. We got lost some kind of way. It was like my sisters and them, they had their whole relationship. They went to visit him when he lived in different states and everything, and I was completely disconnected. So I
Mm.
think a lot of that has a lot to do with the type of men that I attract to myself. Even though I'm nurturing, I'm giving, I'm to this, I'm to that, I give too much. It's me looking for my daddy, I guess you could say. Bottom line.
Who
I
told
agree.
you that you gave too
Whoa.
much?
I don't. No one ever told me I gave too much. I feel like I give too much because when it
Mm.
doesn't work out, I feel so broken or just so, I don't know, just so worn out. Like I've given all of my energy to this and it wasn't ever fed back to me. So it was nothing feeding into me, giving me life. I give it out and it doesn't come
Right,
back.
right.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
became
yeah.
one of them situations. So sitting over here like my sister and doing work on me, you know, and trying
Mm.
to dig deep and lay them bones to rest for good and,
Yeah.
manifesting the person that I think I am. I'm trying to bring him to me.
Do
So
you
that's where
think
I'm
so
at
that
in my journey.
Go ahead, OG.
Mm,
So I'm going to ask this to all the ladies. So what makes you ready? Like at this point, you've gone through this self evaluation, and um, so yeah, we're going to ask Tandra next. So you've gone through this self evaluation, and you know that you got to work on yourself and fix this so that you're ready to put yourself out there. What makes you ready um, for that next step to be with somebody?
So I guess a couple of things. I separated from my husband in 2016, and we were divorced in 2019. And like final divorce, final 2019. And so I didn't date for 2 years, and the whole time we were separated, and even after our divorce, I went to therapy. I mean, I believe in God, but I just
mhm.
think, just as Gia and Talika are talking about, in order for you to work on you, you have to have somebody kind of looking from the outside
Mhm.
objectively and
Yes.
listen to what you're telling them, so they can kind of move you in the right direction. And
Mhm.
you love your family and friends, but they're not objective. They're subjective.
Yeah.
They want you to
Right.
be
Mm-hmm.
happy, and
Yeah.
everything that you're saying, they want to nod. You might have a couple of true blue friends to be like, "Girl, no, you
Mm-hmm.
wrong." But
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
you want somebody to kind of help you navigate those choppy waters, which is
Mhm.
a divorce or even a breaking up. There is no even, it's no cut tear. It's like,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
messy, right?
Real.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you trying to get yourself back together when your whole a whole piece of yourself has
It's
been
gone.
torn from another
Yep.
person, and you
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure that out. How do I figure that out? I would definitely tell people, if you believe in God, pray.
Mhm.
Get your spiritual self together. And if you don't, get a therapist. And even if
Yeah.
you do, get a therapist. Have someone to talk to that can help you walk the path. Because just as Talika was saying, um, you don't want to come out of a relationship bitter. And that was my
No.
number one goal when
Mm.
I got divorced. I said, I will not let this make me a bitter woman. I had an experience. I love somebody with all my heart. I got in the corner. I picked up those pieces of my heart. I glued it back together. And before I got back into the dating scene, I made sure that that glue was kind of set.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't pick up my
Mhm.
my baggage and take it to
Right.
somebody
Take it
else and
with you.
say, "Can
Right.
you please hold my emotional baggage?"
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No,
Mhm.
I decided when I was ready.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
that's that's that's. I'm glad. We'll go ahead, right? Go ahead.
no, no, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, man, that's very very powerful. Therapy is extremely important. Even if you're in a healthy relationship and things are going well, you still need to sit on
Mhm.
somebody's couch for
Right.
maintenance.
Right.
Once you gone once you've gone through and like you said, you picked yourself together and you glued yourself back together. Now you have to maintain that glue. It's not over yet. Like
Right.
you still have because you can regress. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Mhm.
Something
yes.
could
Mm-hmm.
happen. You could want to follow a lonely time and somebody's familiar. And it's it just digs up a whole bunch of. I mean, I'm actually testifying because I've actually been there. Um, so when you got to go back yourself up again and put back, yeah, man. So yeah, good on you,
Together
man. And
again.
I'm so glad that you're talking about it, and sharing your story with a lot of people because it's important.
Yes,
Being
yes,
honest with
definitely.
yourself and your counseling, yes. Yeah.
So
Sean, go ahead. Go
yeah, so off of
ahead.
everything that you ladies just described, do you think you unconsciously might impose some of your past on men you date?
And probably unconsciously, yes. Sure we do. Sure we do.
Just like they impose some of this stuff on us.
Yeah, sure we do.
Yeah, it's a back and forth thing. I mean, I think
Mhm.
in a relationship, everybody does. Whatever your
Yeah.
childhood was, you bring it into your relationship, and how a man deals with a woman and how a
Mhm.
woman deals with a man. It all comes from their past.
Their experiences, yeah.
So
True.
so is there a length to how much you're going to endure from people, or do you guys, after all of these different interactions with men, do you find yourself like putting a certain length on certain things that you see, like maybe red flags or maybe things that are questionable? Because I'm sure
Yes.
you ladies just said that you more than likely are still, you guys are dating some of the same guys. So it's
Mm.
like, how long are you kind of giving them this rope? Like, how long are you giving them that rope before you're like, nah, I'm good on this?
Well, I'm not
Well,
giving
Mm.
anybody a rope because I'm not dating
Right.
currently. But I said I think I'm to a place where I am considering stepping back out there, but I'm not back out there yet. So the verdict on that is still out.
well, I think
But
Uh,
I
somebody
think
just
because
said
I've
it.
kind of dealt with myself that I don't think I would. I think I'm better with not doing that. The problem is, what about the next person? Because most people and a lot of men, let's keep it real, y'all don't want to hold face up to y'all stuff and be real about y'all stuff. You know, it's always the woman, it's never the man.
Hmm.
That's hearsay.
well,
At best is
Um,
hearsay.
I don't know.
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know.
Hmm.
I don't know about that.
Accusatory, like,
I
hold on,
don't
man.
know. I think we're
Uh,
You
all
salty,
we're
you
all
salty about
yeah,
something.
Deflection.
confused.
You salty about
I don't
something.
know about
What's
that.
going on?
I
What's
ain't
that
talking.
about?
I'm
What's going
just
on?
saying. I
You
just thought
salty
I'd
about
throw
something.
that in
What
there.
had happened?
I thought I'd throw that in
What
there.
had happened?
You throw it out there, right?
Yeah.
Oh
You know,
man.
sometimes that's the thing,
ATL,
though.
you about to say something.
Hey,
ATL, you
So,
about to
and
say something.
sometimes that's the thing though, because for real, I noticed I said I found myself dating grown boys. So when you date grown boys, they're never the problem. You the problem. It's always
Right.
you. It's not gonna ever be a them thing.
I mean, but if they
Mm.
boys, they ain't gonna know, right?
That's
One
what I'm
thing I
saying.
know about
So
men,
that's
and
what I'm saying.
yeah, one
So,
thing I know about men and that I've felt in most of my relationships, men are really great with flipping the script. They're not really great at taking responsibility or taking accountability for something that's going wrong in the relationship. And a lot of time the woman finds herself trying to fix what's
Yes.
wrong or trying to fix her, and you feel like
And
you're
it's not
being
you.
gaslighted all the
Right.
time.
Right.
Like that little song said, it wasn't me by what's his
Mhm.
face.
Shaggy.
Right.
What happened? It wasn't me. It wasn't
It
me.
wasn't me.
I'm just like,
it wasn't him. It wasn't him.
Nah,
I'm a
that's
witness.
another misnomer. That's another
I just think
misnomer. I mean,
that
there are
in
some, but not
relation,
all men. Not all men.
yeah.
But
But I just
isn't
think
that?
in
Go ahead,
relationships though,
DG.
when things go wrong, women tend to take the burden of that. It's something we did, and we're always
But
projecting it on ourselves when things go wrong in a relationship.
Who
And it
told you
may not
that?
be us. It may be
but
you.
right.
Did your
But isn't
girlfriends tell
that?
you that?
No,
But
I mean that's just what
isn't
I feel like.
And experience.
No, I
but
don't
isn't
have girlfriends. I
Mm.
roll solo, like for real,
yeah.
for real. I'm alone 99.9%
So
of the
let's get to
time.
the root of that. Is
So
that does that play into dating too for men? I mean, being that you don't necessarily want
mhm.
anybody around.
It's not that I don't want anybody around. I just rock solo. I mean, people ain't
Oh,
rocking like I'm rocking. That's all. I mean, my best friend lives in the Bay. My sisters live in Texas. I'm here in California. I don't really have a crew, or I don't
mm,
hang with people like that. I'm by myself. And maybe
okay.
that
Solo,
in itself is a
solo
problem
dolo.
because I've learned to do things and be okay with being by myself.
Mm,
I don't know.
Mm,
Maybe that in itself
mm,
is an
mm, mm,
issue. She too, she don't
mm.
need, she all good. She happy by herself. She don't need this. She got her own money. She got, okay, but I still need my boo. I still need to be nurtured. I still want to be loved on and give love. So, I mean, what, what do I need to do? I mean, I'm not going to lay down and let somebody step over me. I'm not that person. Never was, never will be. It just ain't.
Right.
I don't even
So
know.
so we talked about gaslighting, right? And dudes not
Okay.
owning and being accountable. Isn't that a
Right.
red flag when you're in the dating phase that they're never accountable? Because for me, when
Yes.
I'm dating,
Yeah.
if I date a person and they can't be accountable for anything in their past,
Yeah.
um, then
Big
Mhm.
that's a
issue.
problem. So when you're talking to these men
Mm.
and they're pretty much pointing the finger and saying, that B did this and my mama didn't do that and
Mhm.
that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
isn't that a red flag? Other than you might
It's
have.
delete, denied, block. Yeah. Hello. Peace.
So you pick up on that. Not, no,
Can't do
well,
that.
um, And the reason I'm asking this is because, and maybe I'm asking this particularly to Talika, is when you say that you've been in a pattern with boys.
Mm.
So was that ever a red
Well,
flag
well,
for
the
you?
thing is, it's a red flag. But the thing about and what I have to take ownership of, we had conversations, but we didn't have the right conversations. You know what I mean? Like asking the right questions, like really digging into what you about, what you came from, how you were raised,
Mm.
that type of stuff. I wasn't having those conversations. At some point, I was a young girl, so young girl, I'm just doing me. Maybe it'll
Mm.
lead to something, maybe it won't. But in the end, I end up with kids. So here I am with this dude, and part of it was um I made a promise to myself because I didn't come from a two-family household. I promised
Mm.
myself that when I was old enough to date, my children would be raised in a two-family
Right.
household. So that is what I went off of. Although nothing was really, the communication wasn't there. It was a lot of things that was void, and I can't put it all on me, all on him. But we both played a role in it. But just for my children's sake, I looked over all of that, even though it wasn't the best of a relationship. I looked over it because something in my mind told me in order for my kids to be okay, they had to have two parents, whether it was a good
Mm.
relationship or not.
Right. Right.
Okay. So in the chat, they like Cherie asked, when is the right time to have those types of conversations? I like to get them out the way, like first
Yeah. First out the
couple of
Yeah,
gate.
weeks. First couple of weeks.
Big
yeah,
blunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
blunt.
Let's
I,
not waste
I
time. Yeah.
yeah,
We
Can
too
y'all
old for
can
that.
y'all
yeah.
clarify those type of conversations? Because you know what I'm saying, listening to what Talika is saying, those type of conversations tend to be different by person. If you hear what each of them saying. So can y'all clarify that?
When I say those kind of conversations,
Hmm.
I'm asking questions like, what part did you have in your breakup? Um,
Ah, got you.
you know, where did where have you improved yourself from, then to now? That kind of stuff, right?
Hmm.
And if those, for
What did
me,
you
not I
learn?
can't. What did you learn, like about yourself, without blaming the other person? And then, can you have those types of conversations? I think a lot of people are so guarded, number one, because they don't want to put their business out there, and then number
Mhm.
two, they trying to act right for this date. So I ain't going, I'm not gonna put
Right.
my
Representative.
business out there, right?
Yeah, the
I'm not gonna,
representative.
right? I'm not gonna go ahead and say, yo, I lied and I cheated. You know what I mean? So,
I think
so
that you just have to give people time, because I think, like they say, you can only wear a mask for so long. Your true representative, your true self will show up as your
Hmm.
representative decreases, because when we get more familiar with the person, we tend to let ourselves be free. But when I first started dating, my best friend, she's a online dater. And she was like,
Oh
"Well,
wow.
she's like, why don't you try online?" So I went on Match. And honestly, I would say, honestly, I did not have a bad time. I thought I would kiss a whole bunch of frogs, but it wasn't, it really wasn't that bad. I met some very nice guys that I hung out with. And but one of the things I realized, like Talika, I was just like, I don't know if I'm really truly ready to give myself wholeheartedly at this point. And and I was honest, and I said,
mm,
"Hey, I've had a great time." One guy chased me around the table a couple of times. I had to only meet him in public. But the other guys, had a great time. But when I wasn't ready and I disengaged, it wasn't bad. I said, but this isn't just my time where I want to go deep into a relationship. I don't mind dating, but I just want to date. I didn't
Right.
want to be in a relationship at this time, and that was good.
Hmm.
So
So,
I like that. So I love putting myself back out there and testing the waters.
okay.
So I would give that to my friend Talika and
Testing the waters.
Well, thank you.
Testing the water.
Dipping
you
into
don't have
her.
to be in a
All right.
relationship. I mean,
Right.
you don't have, I mean, there is a lot of
You
people
do
out
it all the
there.
time.
I think sometimes as women, we see a man, he likes us, we like him, and we want to dive, foot first,
Yeah.
feet first in
Yeah.
12 feet. I'm like, I'm hanging back here in at the shallow end with my feet in the water. I'm just gonna test it out for a while
Let's
because
see how it
before I
fits.
put myself back out there, I want to make
Hmm.
sure, like I just said, I'm 50 years old. And like Dion Cole said, I only got about 25 good summers left. I'm going I'm gonna get I want to spend it with the dude who's
15 really,
gonna
about 15.
that's
Right.
gonna be good for me. So
Them
Right,
others,
you ain't
they
ready
ain't
to
gonna be
you ain't
slow.
ready to settle. You ain't ready to settle yet.
Man, so that you bring up a good point though. You bring up a good point, and this is sort of a gender kind of a deal. Like, I mean, if, when you single, you trying to get back out there, man. Date a bunch of people, man. You think figure out what you really like now, like, cause you're not the same person. You know what I mean? Cause fellas, this is what we gonna do. And if women can do the same thing, like as long as you keep it honest, you know what I'm saying? And,
Mhm.
you're not trying to play nobody. But I think it's not taboo. It is. It is. I think it's really efficient. For you to go out and really do that and find out what you really like in life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I
Mhm.
would tell my daughter. Like, "Hey, look, man, get around. Like, you ain't gotta, as soon as the first guy jumps in, like, you gotta, you know,
I
lock
agree
up
with
with him,
that.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
I
and
agree
to
with that because
Sherry
I
Ann,
think a
that was
lot
What
of
you
times
agreeing with? You scared to date right now, girl.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm
She
Yeah,
just
said
you
she wasn't
taking my
ready.
want to put
time.
yourself out there.
I ain't scared. I'm just taking my time. But I will say I agree with that because a lot of times when we do date, it's like you meet one person and then you get fixated on that one person. So I do agree with, test the waters, get out there,
Yeah.
date different people, do what you do. Don't say, oh, I think I like him and try to make this something that it may not be meant to be.
Is there a line that gets crossed that makes it more than what it is?
yep.
What's the line?
What
That's
is
what
it?
I want to know.
She
What's the
said,
line?
"Yup."
What's the
Honestly,
line? What's the line?
With a
honestly,
big
Right.
ass P. Huh. Yep.
I
Huh.
think people today, I think we undervalue sex. We jump in with sex, and then the next thing we say, "Oh, I'm in a relationship," and I'm
Right.
like, "You don't even know this person. You've known
Right.
them about 2 weeks." And so
Oh, wow. Hold on.
I grew up with my dad, and I
Mm.
grew up with three brothers, and so I saw
Okay.
the
So yeah.
whole man type
Hmm.
thing.
Right.
I even saw my dad step out on my mom, and so, but one of the things my dad told me growing up, he was like, look, Latondra, he was just like, I'm not going to tell you when to have sex. He said, but he's like, once you play that trump card, you can't take it back.
Mhm.
He
Right.
said, so make sure that when you play it, that you know how that man feels about you. Because if you don't, you can
Mm.
get played.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that was his
Mm.
advice to me. So when I'm dating a dude, I take that, I
Mm.
look at him and I say, is this somebody that I'm gonna play my trump card on?
Hmm.
Or you can
Sex
use
is a
the
trump
prince
card.
example. Are you gonna
Interesting.
let that are you gonna let that thief in your temple? Because it's a temple. I think it is. It's mine. But
He
and not
said thief.
everybody gets to get in.
The thief, boy. Don't let
Keep
that
going.
thief
Keep
in
going.
there.
What's the next? What's the line?
Oh,
Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, I was gonna go
Who's
where
who's
you
that?
going with this. That
Yeah,
sex
man.
is
Like,
the trump
keep
card,
going. Keep
right?
going.
So
Yeah.
so is I think sometimes the the value of sex to women are um, not understood to men. So we totally see sex
Sport.
as a sport. Yeah, as a sport. And
Sport.
when you're
mm.
well, not all the time. I'm not saying with
Yeah.
every woman. I'm
Right.
saying, when you got to jump off or you just after after the ass, and she got more invested into it. She got more of herself invested into it, and he's just after the ass. Then where is it that women can recognize that versus just giving up their entire selves, that trump card to a dude who ain't trying to hear it?
I think it
Gee, I
depends on
want
the
to hear what you want
female.
to say. I'm looking at your face right now.
Who, me?
Who?
What?
Who?
Yeah, G, go ahead, go ahead. You kind of locked up right now.
I
Yeah, I want to
think
hear you say
I
that.
really
Yeah,
I think it
there you
depends
go.
on the female because I've been accused of acting mannish in those situations where I can have sex for sport and not
Okay.
be all emotionally tied to it. Sex is sex, love is love, and when the two meet, it's wonderful. But most times it doesn't. This is this,
Okay.
and that is that. But there's always a situation where one person is going to feel something more than the other person, and that's when that issue comes about. And I just think that women, we're taught from birth. Sex is, oh, that's like she said, your trump card. Oh, that's the
Mhm.
golden temple. You don't just give it up to everybody and woo, 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 and the whole big to do. So every woman is walking around here like she
I'm
got
sorry.
gold in between her legs and the whole 9 yards. And yes, some of us do. Um, but for men, I don't. They don't tie. They don't tie
Hey, y'all
emotion
wonder
to
why we
sex.
chasing the gold.
That platinum.
I mean,
Got that
it is
platinum
what it
P. Got
is. But I
that
just
good
don't believe
power you.
men aren't taught that sex is emotion. Women are taught sex and emotion and love are all the same thing. We're not taught to separate it like you guys do. We're not taught to go through men at early ages and try it all out for sport and see what fits best because then we're whores. Then we're the trollops and we're laying out with all these dudes and all this other stuff. But I mean, the men are laying with the women too. So what is that for them?
What's the difference?
Well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
I think
Gia,
that's
I
oh,
changing. I
definitely
think that's
I
changing.
agree with you because I agree with you, Gia, on the fact that but every woman is not the same. Every man
Exactly.
is not the same.
True.
There are some men they can have sex with a woman and they feel like they forever linked to that one woman.
True.
We're all
Yeah.
different, but you
Yeah.
have to do what's good for you.
For you.
And so I
Exactly.
would definitely say that. But women do not compartmentalize easily.
Mm-mm.
Nah.
Hell no.
That's not a
Nah.
thought. Our
Yeah.
brains
right,
are not
It's the if
linked
the
like
if
that.
then
right.
yeah.
Our
Nah.
link
The
our
if then
brains are
statement.
like this.
Yeah.
But Tandra, my question is,
Everything
If
comes
that.
together.
but
Yes.
Tandra, my question
Men have a
is,
big nothing box, and whatever they do, it goes through that nothing box, and sometimes it stays, and sometimes it goes right
She
through the
said a
y'all
right.
y'all
nothing
have a
box.
hard
So
time.
boom.
Y'all have a
so
hard
Not
time
a
fooling
recognizing
nothing box.
yourselves.
so Tandra, recognizing that, right? You're dealing with
Woo.
these dudes with the big nothing box right here, and you offer your temple to that dude with the nothing box. Where is the responsibility where you're concerned
Facts.
to handing that over to a dude that's not going to be responsible for it?
You have to be responsible for yourself. I mean,
Okay.
everybody, going into the relationship, nobody's making you do anything.
Right.
Everything
Yep.
is a self decision. And that sometimes I get mad at that. And sometimes, like even in my divorce, one of my parts of my language, it changed from he did to I allowed myself.
That's it.
There you
There it
go.
is. There it
There
is.
you go.
Yep. Yeah.
I
Yep.
allowed
Different narrative.
things to
Yep.
happen
Ding
There you
ding
in
go.
the
ding ding ding.
relationship
Ding,
that
ding,
Yep.
ding. Like
wasn't
he
good for
said,
me.
yeah. Where are we in that? Yeah. When you lay with a nothing Negro, just expect nothing back. So
That's
don't be
Amen.
it.
crying tears when you get
Boom.
nothing. You
Hey,
And
lay
you
with
but
got to
nothing,
take
you
responsibility for it. Yep.
hope you got off. So I get you that. I hope you got off. That's all I can say about that one. Keep it pushing. Next. Yeah. Nothing from
So
nothing is nothing.
Kelly said we don't always know there is a nothing box at first.
This is
So
true because y'all
Gotta
perpetrate.
right.
Y'all put on the good suit, put on that man suit and all that good stuff. We
So
all
so
do. We all put
actually,
on
I
our best
learned that
behavior.
I actually learned that in marriage counseling. It's a great marriage. It's a pastor, and he teaches about the man in the nothing box. And he was like,
Oh,
when you
wow.
ask a man, "What you thinking?" and a man says nothing, he was
Nothing.
like,
There it is.
he really ain't thinking nothing. It's a
Right.
that's
big
it.
nothing box right there. He said, but
But
he
It's a
said,
it's
nothing
that
if you
box.
ask
I
simple.
a
love it.
woman, he said, but if you ask a woman what
they
she's
mad we
thinking
civil,
about,
man.
And she got
you
a
see
whole
your
bunch, huh?
yeah, you see your wife and you like, baby, what's on your mind? And she's like, nothing.
Yeah.
He said, you know, you in trouble. It's
Yeah.
like, he's like, when she says nothing, you already done lost the battle. She got
Mm.
about 50 things in her mind that you did
Mhm.
wrong.
Yep.
We
That's
lost
hilarious.
somebody. Where did
Talika.
Talika go? Anyway, come back, Talika. We need you back here. We like
Okay.
we missed the Southern drawl.
I got a
Opco
question for you,
award
lady.
performances.
Go ahead,
So,
Rob.
so has there ever been a chance where a man has been upfront with you about his intentions, and you ended up catching feelings, or you ended up wanting more than what he wanted? How did you end up dealing with that? Have you ever been in that situation?
Delete, block, denied. Yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
But why he getting the delete block though? Like he was upfront.
But what's
Is that
funny?
more for
Oh,
yourself?
because it's
But you
not
know what's
about
funny,
you. It's
Rob?
about me. It's about
But
what
you know what's
I
funny,
need.
Rob? Because Gigi is the one that she's trying to
Talika
be the
says
Mm,
she's
dude,
in
and
the waiting
now we're
room.
talking, Gigi.
She's waiting to
Gigi,
get
That's
back
She
what
on
it
said
the
is. I
about
boat.
what
see it
I
right now.
need.
I see it
Hmm.
right.
right?
Now
I see
She
it
I
right
can
she
now.
see.
She
There
be
she go.
I get
intimidating them.
through.
She be intimidating them. That's what it is.
right.
She be
That's what it is.
intimidating.
Be like, look, you don't call the
She
shots up
like,
in here.
get on
I
the bed
do.
right now and get them
Right.
drawers off right
Get
now.
them drawers
You
off
like,
right
whoa, I
now.
ain't never expected this.
Right.
Y'all are funny.
No,
Exactly.
I
So
think it's yes, I have been in that kind of relationship,
Mhm.
and that was tough. I mean, just to make a long story short, I met a guy. He was great, very, always calling, always coming by, but something was off, and you know how something's off. And so I was just like, okay, he's not doing something on the weekends. He was always ghost. And so I was like, what's
Mm.
going on? And just like Gia, I
Mhm.
blocked him. Somehow they know how to get through blocking. I
Yeah.
still don't. But then he's like, I just want to take you out. I just want to
oh,
tell you what's
you know.
going on. And so I guess he had a girlfriend who has cancer. And I guess because she's stage 4, he was like, I don't want to leave her because I don't want people to think bad of me. But I'm not with her. And I was just like,
So I'm just gonna be a
well,
cheating bastard instead. Oh, okay.
exactly. I said, you know what?
All right, because that's better. All right.
You need
All
to
right.
figure that out. And but that was tough
How
because
you know he
Yeah.
it's
didn't get a
like
pass?
again.
How you know he didn't get a hall pass?
Y'all
Okay.
Hall
went straight up.
pass.
You went
Still
straight to the
taking.
cheating bastard. You went straight to
Right.
the cheating bastard. Good
Okay.
They
gracious.
got a hall
Okay,
pass.
y'all.
Oh, girl
Boy,
is
G'll
he
be
is
on you in
about
5 minutes,
to
boy.
die.
Hey,
Right.
five
He is
minutes,
Right.
he
about
on you.
to
That
die.
Look,
vibration is
Ooh.
off.
He-
That
if
I
if
vibration
don't
is
care.
off.
if
Okay.
I'm laid up in the bed with stage 4 cancer in the testicles, I'm be like, baby, you got to pass. Go ahead. Go do your
Right.
Oh, you
thing.
just
Oh,
Don't
gonna
come
give
back.
it to
so,
him?
Oh,
Yeah, she
okay.
got the pass. Well, she
Right.
gotta
yeah.
she gotta stop her life because I can't give it to her no more.
You gonna be okay with that?
You never
Nope.
know.
I'm gonna
They'll bring it around.
I will
I
learn
You'll
got
to.
never know.
I will learn
You'll
I,
be
to.
I got
mentally
stage
tormented.
I
So
got
Have to.
stage
you
4
should have you
testicles.
should have listened to the toy episode last week. There are other
Yeah.
things you could be doing.
Right.
Look, Lord
So
have
you
mercy.
plotting on it in
I
your
did
mind, but you
right.
taking it out on tours. Okay.
So are you saying you got a hidden collection over there?
Oh man.
Yep.
I got some
Uh,
things that take
While
you
you were,
through
hey,
7
something
winters.
going on while you wait this hallway. Something going on while you wait for a door to
right,
open.
right. She
You ain't just waiting out there
Why you
quietly.
not dating?
she paid
Why you
attention
if
last
you
week
not
for
dating
sure.
yet?
I sure did.
I see you over there being quiet. You know, you the one that's not dating right now. You got to be dating something in your drawer right now.
I mean,
Oh
my
wow.
drawer is cool. My drawer is cool.
Hey,
Your
Okay.
drawer is cool.
that's the best way not to
Slide it
catch
right
Yeah,
feelings.
open.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
Best
Slide it
way not
open.
to
Slide
catch
it
feelings.
inside.
Self
I don't have,
serve.
and I have no problems with that. I don't have to worry about he won't cheat on me. None of that.
Hey,
Right.
And
okay.
he
You just
won't
gotta worry about
stop
the batteries. You gotta
until
worry
He
about
you
the
said he
batteries
won't stop.
and keeping them clean. Batteries and
Right.
keeping them clean. That's all you got to worry with.
That's it.
So, since we on the topic of sex, is a man talking about or alluding to sex, when you guys are initially talking or dating, is that a turn off to you or a deal breaker? So, can you get
Depends on
past them
how
just having that
early in the
conversation?
conversation. I guess it depends on how early in the conversation. Sometimes it
I got a
can be.
follow up question. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Um,
Lashandra, Talika.
If it's your only talking point, it's definitely a turn off. I don't
yeah,
need that to be your only talking point. If
right,
everything that we talk about leads back to sex, that's the problem.
yeah,
But that's, I mean, but then that's what he's after, right?
true,
Yeah, you know that's what he after, but you also know he doesn't know how to hold a conversation.
I
right.
mean, but do we need to hold
He
a
knows how to hold
conversation
a
to get turned?
conversation about
Yeah,
sex.
yeah, yeah. You need to hold a
It
He
conversation.
knows
depends.
how to.
What
Yeah,
if he
you
It
just
need
depends
to.
on
trying
what
you?
y'all doing. It
What if he
depends
just
on
Yeah,
what
trying
you
you
you?
know
all
how
are
to hold a
doing.
conversation to get to trying to get to where he's trying to get to.
What if he just trying you to see where you at and see if you gonna
Well,
stick to your guns?
he might be, but he'll probably get his feelings hurt.
But can you
Right.
guys look past that and see past that, or is it just like, oh no, you talking about sex? I'm cool on that. I'm good. I don't, block delete what y'all was saying earlier. Or
I
can
don't,
I'll
I don't
you?
move the
block and delete. I
conversation.
probably just tell you how I feel. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Damn, that's all you got to talk about.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Now
I'll just
I'm
All
move
right.
the
good at
conversation.
I'm good at
Move the
being really
conversation.
real about what I'm talking about. If your conversation, if that's all you got to talk about, then I'm saying, hey, dude, I don't have time for this shit. Holler at me
Right,
when you can find another conversation.
right.
Oh shit! Hey,
Ah,
you gotta step
Oh, we gotta
correct.
talk about something else.
ah,
You gotta step correct, boy.
I
Okay.
know,
Wow.
right?
Right, right, right.
Corey,
You gotta be reading
Corey,
some books and know about
Corey,
astrology
love
and
Corey.
No,
Mm-mm.
you don't have to know about
No.
all of that, but you got to know something besides that. Like,
Yeah.
damn.
right, right, right.
I don't
It
mind
And
should
talking
it should be
about
easy to have a
sex. I
conversation.
don't I don't
Mhm.
mind talking about sex at all. I think though that like Talika said, you should have something else to talk about. I
right.
mean, and I work in communications. I know how to respond, go to the command message, and then divert to another topic. And
Mhm.
so, but that's important, right? You want to
Mhm.
be able to know what this person is about. Surely if we're talking about sex on the first date, man, have we
Oh
skipped
yeah.
a whole bunch of topics
What if
to
he got them
learn
Right,
gray
about each other.
sweatpants? What if it's gray
right.
sweatpants season?
Man,
Right.
whatever.
You know, can't nobody get this shit. It's good to look at.
but right, but they act like they not looking though.
Corey,
Mhm.
We always
yeah.
looking.
I said it's good to look at.
Oh, okay. All right. But you ain't
Corey Love says
necessarily
men should never talk about sex or ask for sexual favors. I kind of agree with that. I mean, that's a
I agree. I
sex
agree with
is
Corey.
okay.
And sometimes I think the
Yeah.
less you talk about sex with a woman, the more she's intrigued with you. And she was
You're
like,
right.
Y'all don't consider that a
let me
hard
try
conversation?
him.
but
Yeah.
that's kind of like playing the game too, right? Because now he's like, okay, well, you know what? I ain't gonna talk about sex. She's just gonna give it up because I'm gonna be this interesting dude.
Maybe
But
that's
I
his
ain't though.
personality. Maybe he
It's
wants to
just
get
too
to know.
obvious. It's just too
It's a
obvious,
couple of
man.
y'all out
Right,
there.
Maybe it's
I
I
right.
mean,
don't know if they.
Why are
but
we
here's a
there? Why are we
question.
there?
Here's a question. Do men really
Why?
want to get to know women? Do they
Yeah,
really want to get to know us?
yeah,
It
yeah,
Yes.
it depends.
Yes.
yeah.
And
No, do
I've
it.
talked
No,
about
Exactly.
this
it
before.
depends.
I've
It
talked about this
depends.
Right.
before. Real
Do I
quick,
just
real
want to
quick.
smash, or do I really
Right.
want to get to know you? So
Exactly.
there you go.
Yeah.
So it's
Man, I
like,
think
Listen,
even
shit, you
most
got to
men
talk
these
about it.
days,
it makes
I think most men these days is smashing and still trying to be more, and they just don't want to admit it. That's what really be going on. It be like, cause
Right.
to me, it's like if you talking about you just smashing while you up in the morning cooking breakfast, like that
Right.
shit ain't just smashing, homie. That's borderline more than what y'all
Relationship.
really talking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I see a lot of dudes doing, and then they like, yo, I told her I ain't want a relationship, bro. You over there cooking breakfast for her? Y'all just
man.
took a trip with the kids and
It's a
everything. What you
Mixed
reason.
talking
signals.
about?
Mixed
Right.
signals.
It's
Right.
a
Yeah.
Mixed
reason why.
signals.
It's a
Mixed
reason why.
signals. Right. Right.
Let me get
But
a
I
word
Yeah.
in
think,
real
So
quick. Let
then,
me get a word in real quick.
go ahead.
But
mm,
let me get a word in real quick. So
mm,
listen, I've said this before on the show. Right? It makes for a better stroke when you have a connection with a woman. So and listen,
true.
like we talking, we getting to know each other. Like it makes the sex a whole. It's next level. It's not like
Yeah.
Right.
when you win a prize and you try to go on. It's not even the same thing. Like it's a completely
Mm,
different level. But until you reach a level of maturity to understand that the
right.
real thing is it's not just the punani, but it's also the person. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
if you like the person that a lot, like you really
Yeah. Yeah.
start to forget about getting off. You know what I'm saying? You want her
Right.
to get off. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Man,
it's
these
like
women chase toxic penis, man. They chase toxic penis, bro. They like toxic
That's
penis. It
for
ain't. They don't
real.
No,
want
we
the good
don't.
penis. They want
No, we
toxic.
don't.
For real.
It's the toxic
Now,
It
brothers
was
putting it
good.
down,
It's
bro.
good.
because I
Okay.
want
Right.
you.
It's the
Right.
toxic
Hit with
brothers
spot.
putting
I
it
You
was
know,
down. It
hey,
ain't that lovey-dovey
I'll
shit.
take
It's
that.
them toxic
Right.
motherfuckers.
I was dating. I'll just say an
Pull your
Atlanta
head. They pull
lawyer,
your head.
and
Call
this
your
dude,
names.
he could cook his tail off, and he'd always invite me over, and he'd always cook a meal, and he was just that close. But he was vulgar as I don't know what. And by the time he was like, he talked about it so much, and the way he
Oh
talked
wow.
about my body, our bodies, it was
Yeah.
like,
It was a
ugh.
turn off, huh? It was like,
So
Yes, I
so
was just like, I can't do this. And he didn't even know he was this close. He was
Oh, they
so
like,
talked themselves out of it.
He was that
so the
close.
okay.
food. So the food was
Shut your mouth,
the
dude. Shut your mouth.
the food was the way to the draws,
oh, he
and
was
he just
good. He was from Louisiana. This man could throw
Ooh.
down. But
oh yeah
I
yeah
was just like, mm-mm.
But are y'all?
Oh,
yeah.
go.
But are y'all inviting? Are y'all giving that inviting vibration or energy, or is it just like, you know what? I'm not on that. I'm not giving no kind of vibe off. Cause I gotta feel like when y'all feeling somebody or the conversation's flowing like y'all saying that, there's got to be some type of vibe,
Mm,
Oh,
right?
awesome. Yeah,
mm.
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so the hard part I think of
Hmm.
dating and women these days is trying to find that vibe because
True.
a lot of y'all are so strong. Like y'all said, if he's talking about sex too much, but I think sometimes it's a prelude to being able to say whether she got openings, right? Because a lot of y'all
Mm,
still y'all got the steel armor on talking about it, but once you see them little cracks, we can pierce some of them cracks,
mm.
right? So it's a matter of, are you guys really so concerned with sticking to your guns, or is it like depending upon that vibe and if you have that feeling with them? Because I feel like you might give in if you got that type of vibe or feeling with a person, regardless of maybe how much they
Give
talking about it.
in.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you
all
could,
about energy and vibe.
yeah.
So yeah, if the chemistry's there, then that's what it is. Let's roll with it. But if it's not, put the brakes, homie. Let's talk about something else. We'll come back to
but
that.
isn't
Yeah.
sometimes the chemistry with a toxic motherfucker?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you can have
Yes.
chemistry with toxic people. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's,
because they talk
well,
the best
Absolutely.
Yeah.
game.
sexual
Yeah.
chemistry. It's sexual chemistry. It's not real chemistry. It's just sexual
Well,
chemistry.
I mean, it's some chemistry, right?
It's
So it,
lust.
it leads you it leads you
Yeah,
It's
down
there
the
it is.
lust.
road.
That's it. It's just
Well, I'm
lust. It's
saying
not real a
what
real chemistry. You
but it
just
still
feeling
leads you
hot.
down. It still leads you down the road where you're investing, right?
Well, you're
So
investing
it's
sexually, but yeah, yeah,
or emotionally because but not for
mm,
you because
yeah.
Gigi got this down. But I'm talking about other ladies
Right, right,
that
right.
would go ahead and do that and say, "Well, you know what? We got this vibe sexually or whatever it is. I'm gonna go ahead and throw everything else in the pot, right?"
Yeah, we
And
do that. I think we're guilty of that.
yeah, yeah.
You can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but we're supposed to pick up broken mofos and turn them into kings. Yeah, okay. Um,
Well,
He's
somehow
I
it doesn't
mean,
salty.
work
He's
the other way
salty.
but
around. I don't
again,
He's
get it.
salty.
Um,
no,
but
He's
you know,
that's
you
not.
salty.
all are hoes, and I'm supposed to make you a husband. So how's that supposed to
Nah,
work? But
that ain't
anyway,
that ain't got
Whoa.
nothing to do.
Come
I
over
ain't
with
say
these.
nothing.
You over
just
here with these sound
saying.
Right.
bites.
I ain't say
You
nothing about
dropping
no
with these
hoes.
sound bites.
I'm just
That's
You're
all.
saying.
gonna have
I
to
know.
edit that
I
later.
That's
ain't
all
say
you
nothing
I'm
about
doing.
no
starting mess.
hoes.
I'm
You
starting
ain't
mess. I
saying.
know.
I know you are, but I'm
That's all
saying
you
like
doing. You
so.
Yeah.
being
But
Dak
even
Kim right now.
But I get what you're saying. I get what you're
but
saying. Yeah.
but even the broken dudes, right? You pick them
Yeah.
up because the stroke is right, and you like, okay, you know
Try to
what?
fix them.
Well, I'm trying to fix them, and that's
Hey.
that broken
Hey.
puppy syndrome. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
You pick up the broken puppy and be like, oh, you blame him for being a broken puppy,
Or you try to nurture his broken ass back to peace, to wholeness, and
right?
it doesn't work.
Right.
One
you
of the
know.
things I tell people, especially ladies, is that
Mhm.
the man that you're dating is the man that you're going to be with, is the man that you're going to marry. So make sure that you don't have any red lines with that man, because if you do,
Mhm.
they're going to take you
Flags.
right down the same line that they're going to show you and give you exactly what you've been seeing. But
Right.
the more you're in a relationship, the less foggy and the less rosy your glasses are. And
Right,
before you
right.
realize, you're like, wow, that wasn't the same person I dated a
Nope.
year ago. Yeah, it
Right.
was. But your glasses look. But your glasses were foggy or
Foggy.
rosy or
Yep.
whatever.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
and
you didn't
just
have the
like
discernment.
Katrina is saying, I want a partner. I don't want a project. We're not 20 anymore. We're
Right.
in our 50s. We should be able to get mature men who have a little something with them, a little substance with them by now. So I just think that that's important. And nobody's doing it like they used to do it. So a
Mm-hmm.
man can talk all the trash he want. He ain't got an AR-15 anymore. He packing with a 6-shooter. Pow, pow, pow. So you might as well act accordingly.
Well, that's what Viagra on the
Samir.
market for, right?
Okay, I have a question. I have to piggyback on what she said, but I'm like, okay, so are we walking around with rose-colored glasses, or are we giving them benefits of the doubts and trying to overlook the red flags, trying to give them the opportunity to prove who they are? You know what I mean? Like, you can't be so
It
hard
takes
out the
time,
gate that
man.
you can't that the brother can't prove himself a little bit. You know what I mean? So I
I
mean,
Mhm.
mean,
I don't know.
it
I don't
takes
know where it
time, right?
is.
As
Yeah,
my
You
as my
it takes
dad
you
time,
make
told
the
and you're
hero.
right.
as my dad told me, it is
Yeah,
what it is. Most
yeah.
men come, most men, there are
Hmm.
some manipulative men out there, but
Mhm.
most
Many.
men, you get what you see.
You
What you
see,
see.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
I think a lot of times we overlook the red flags. You saw them, you
Oh
just
yeah,
overlooked them.
Y'all
because
fell
you
in love
want
with
this
them
You
man. You
didn't.
narcissists.
You
want to
didn't
be
even
in this
overlook it. You didn't
relationship.
overlook it.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
fell in love with them
You
narcissists.
accepted it.
That's what happened.
Right,
Right.
You accepted
right.
it.
The narcissist
What
skewed the
about
whole
You
y'all?
know what
What
I'm
view.
saying?
y'all fell in love
We
with?
Right.
accepted
Because my ex-husband was the
it. You
biggest
look.
manipulative, gaslighting narcissist that I ever thought I could meet. And I was
Mhm.
like, wow.
So
But
when
by the
did
time it was over, it was all my fault.
Wow. It
right,
will. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right.
man.
That's usually how it
So,
Yeah,
goes.
that don't work.
but did you recognize any of that in the beginning?
I did not. When I tell
Okay,
you this was the greatest brother I've ever met. And so my husband was a pastor. Um,
okay.
and so I
Yeah,
was like, even
there's that.
I think Dak asked me on a personal level, he was like, well, did you see, were you looking at him too much as a pastor than a man? And I said, no,
Wow.
Mm,
I knew he was a man because
mm.
we stepped over the line before we jumped the broom. So
Right.
no.
Well, you talking about in the
Yeah,
context of you and him, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
recognizing him as a man without you, like just a man that's capable of tripping and falling into another vagina.
Say that question one more time.
I don't understand the question. I
did,
don't
did
understand the
did
question.
you see him as a regular dude, like just a man that was
Mhm.
capable of mistakes, capable of tripping and falling
Yes.
into another vagina?
Yes.
Did you see him as that,
Oh, as opposed to a pastor.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
as a
yeah. Yeah.
as
pastor.
I
opposed to a
Mhm.
definitely
pastor?
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
definitely saw the
Yeah, 'cause
man before the fall.
I think it's a
yeah,
lot of predators out
that's,
here
that's no
that prey on women
hide
weakness.
behind titles.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
They can sniff a low self esteem from a mile away. Like, or they can,
Mhm.
or you like this, or they can just be paying attention to your page and see what you've been complaining
Mhm.
about.
Mhm.
Well, I can do this, that, and the other, and give you just give you all the give it gab, right? Tell you everything
Yep.
you need to know, right?
that's what you
But
doing, Jay.
then when you
You
go
looking at
through,
you looking
Studying
at her
people's
page.
pages.
You studying her
Good to know.
page to see it, what
not yet,
kind of runways and
not
icebergs
yet,
she like.
not yet.
And I
I
agree
haven't
with
done that yet. I
Tessa.
mean, but I
I
would.
agree with Tessa on our page. You have to, you got that words have to align with the actions. The audio
Amen.
must match the video.
Yes.
Or am I looking at one of those old martial arts movies? When I see you coming, because I'm just
Right.
like, yeah, you're saying stuff, but your actions aren't
Actions are
lined up with
different.
that. So, don't listen, don't just listen, look. As Medea
Right.
said, you gotta watch.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
gotta watch.
Try the turtle.
Don't listen
Right.
to my
Now,
words.
I
Watch me
think that's
move.
where a lot of the issues come in at though, because we don't look at the actions. We will look a lot at the words, and then we overlook those. You know, you'll like I said earlier, you'll see the red flags, but then you overlook them. We got to be able to, what Gia said, the rose colored glasses. We got to take those off and see it for what it really is.
Mm.
So can
Yeah.
do you think that you guys are ready to, or not ready, but you're able to take those glasses off now and you can see a person for who they are?
I think that's the problem. That's why we're single.
Oh,
Because
Man,
we
get
can see the person that they are
No,
coming.
that's not why
ladies,
you're
Block,
get
single.
deny, delete.
You're
Again,
single
yes,
because
I
you're
ladies,
get
not in a
weirdos. So
relationship.
right.
ladies,
But
give yourself a little
That's why you.
grace, because some of us
yeah.
are very good at convincing you. We are
yeah.
Okay.
very
Well,
good at convincing you.
We've been
yeah,
taught
because I
since
was just
birth.
about to say, I'm not
Mm.
gonna sit here and say I always had on rose-colored glasses. I'm gonna be
Right.
real. I'm street. I'm from the hood, and I was deeply in the street. So game recognized game. So I was able to recognize a lot of stuff. But
Mm.
again, why I do the work, why I did the work for me is because when you used to a certain thing, you pull in that certain thing. So
Right. Right.
I was a product of my environment. So even though I may have saw certain things in you, you know, this is what I was used to, and this is what I've been dealing with. So that's what I dealt with.
Mm.
Okay, I
And,
got you.
and now it's a thing about growth. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
as you grow, as you get older, you start to see things differently, and you want to pull different things or different type of people into your life.
Mm.
And that's not just from a male female relationship. That's with anybody I deal with. Like if you
Yeah.
on the BS, I can't be bothered with it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm not with all of that anymore. Like what I did, who I was back then is not who I am now. So if you
Exactly.
coming with the BS, if you coming with the fakeness, if you want to play games, I don't have time. I got to keep it pushing because I can't
Right.
So
vibe with you like that.
Right.
Talika went from
Yeah.
bankhead to buckhead. That's what's up.
Okay.
Hey.
Go
I
ahead.
think as you get, I think as you get
But
older,
this is when
your
Kevin
your
Samuels starts
needs
to talk
become
right here.
different.
You want to
Mhm.
become the bankhead, you from bankhead up to buckhead, but you don't have the buckhead for such and such and such. But I'm not trying to push any buttons, but at the same time, when we do grow into things or grow out of something, and when we know we want something different, we might be in a situation where you don't even know how to track what you've grown away from. You know what I'm saying? So you got into another, and you walk through a door, but you don't even know what you're looking at. But you know you don't want what's behind you anymore. You know what I'm saying? So what do you do then? How do you kind of walk into that whole piece? You know what I mean? What is that whole piece? Like, you say you've been there, but you want something different. But like, what is that different, and what do they like? Will you attract that different thing, or that new level, or that the more mature piece that you're looking for? Because you talk about
Yeah,
the poet.
I'm definitely gonna
Wait a minute.
attract that because that's what I'm pulling into my life. Like what's behind me is behind me. That's the reason why I said I haven't dated. I said I took off from dating so that I could work on me. And the work on me is making sure that I'm able to pull different things into my life and not the same BS.
I
Are
say
these
be
high
that
value
which you
men?
be.
I just think
Yes, ma'am. All right.
our needs are different
All right.
now. I mean, when you become a woman of a certain age, you know what I needed at 40 and 30 and 20 are definitely different
Different.
than what I need now as a 50-year-old woman. And so I'm not looking for the same things that I used to look for in a man. And so that's why sometimes I wish that we all come to the table correct, especially as we're getting, especially as our summers are shortening. You know, we
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
come. We ain't got too many left, so we might as well come correct, come truthful, be honest. You know, don't try to live. Don't. I'm living my life out loud. I want my partner to come along with me and have a good time, but I don't have
Mhm.
time to. I don't have time to train nobody now. I
Okay.
mean, you know, you got to come with your wheels off and with your training wheels off, and just let's go. You know, and be a
Interesting.
real
Interesting.
couple. You know,
The-
But
so some,
don't they have to learn you?
I think some of the questions that we're answering are probably more for, like a 30-year-old woman, who's still growing. I think for some of us who have matured, we're definitely looking for a partnership. We have things, we have our own stuff. We don't need stuff, but we want to help stuff. We want to be a real true help me because we know what it means. We really truly know what it means now. So I think that's something else that we have
So
to
that
think
kind of leads
about.
me to the next question.
Awesome.
I wanted to ask you. That's good points, and you got to talk
See,
about
it's funny.
the where you are. Yeah. But I wanted to talk about like gender roles, at your level, at in your time of life. How do gender roles in your relationship, or do they matter now just as much as they did maybe before? And then also, is it more so like, do you hold, if you do have gender roles, do you kind of hold people to the fire? Is that part of your mantra is when you come into date? And with that being said, how does that translate to being equally yoked, so to speak? It's a 3-part question.
Yeah, Jay, you said a lot, man. I'm gonna need you to pick a woman to answer that question. Pick one of the ladies
So
real quick.
I
I was
started
saying
Just
he
speaking.
had
one part.
those.
It's one of those.
Go ahead, pick
But
one,
yeah,
Jay.
just talk about just talk about
But pick one of the ladies, Jay.
the gender role.
Pick one of the
Uh,
ladies, Jay.
West Coast. I'm not bad with names. I think Gigi.
Gender roles. I don't even know what that is because again, I'm single, so I do all the roles right now. So I might be too aggressive in a situation where I do man shit because ain't no man here. I'm like, so there may be times I may step on his toes because I'm so used to doing it myself. I mean, I
So
don't even know
how
what
about
gender
being
role. What
equally?
do you mean? What does that mean in a relationship? Gender
Just
roles. He
so
takes out the
what
trash
is
as
what, is,
opposed to me. I mean, what is that? What is it?
it is? So what about
Mhm.
being? You understand what equally yoked is? Like what is?
Yeah,
How does that translate into
does he
the
have does
relationship
he have to be
piece?
a provider? Does he have to be a provider?
it would be nice, but we can both provide. I hustle. I'm one of those Jamaicans. I got 15 jobs. I'm always on a grind. So, you know.
So I think that's what he means when he's talking about like specific
Okay.
gender roles. Being that you just said y'all both providers, what does that look like from other
He don't want no
aspects?
man.
Yeah, I saw that. That's some bullshit, but whatever.
You don't want
Corey
no
can
man.
Corey can
Yeah,
You
shit,
have
don't
I ain't
want no
three
dealing with
man.
no
things.
bullshit.
You are
I
you.
ain't dealing with no
You are
bullshit.
you are your own man.
You
All
can't
you
come in
need
here with
you
no
need a
job. I
robot.
got
You need a
15.
doll.
I never
All
said I
you need
didn't
is a
want
robot
one.
to show up when you want it to.
Okay.
So that's some
So
bullshit.
my big question is how far back are y'all ladies reaching in age
As
when it
far
comes
as
to
our
dating? As
not
far as
very
the
far. Not very
so
far at this
so
age.
you're
No.
saying relatively close to your age range, right? So
Yeah, my issue is that I look young, so I draw a lot of younger people, but I tend to stay in my own age bracket at this point. Yeah.
so a lot of dudes I know in those age brackets are probably coming out of marriages and they're acting like they're in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that's why I
Issues.
asked how far back
Yeah.
y'all willing to reach, because it's some
Yeah.
young men
Hey.
that got some
Yeah.
heads on them now.
You're right. True that. And if I meet one, I'll let you know.
I dated a very mature
Hmm.
2-year-old. He was awesome. I mean, he
Okay.
opened doors, he paid for stuff. And I was
Hmm.
just like, and over paid for stuff. He never wanted me to pay for anything. The first time I said, I got it, he was like, no, 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 I don't want you to pay. I said, I
Right.
really like you. He's so
Why
cute.
he gotta be cute?
Right?
Sound like he a little boy. Oh, you look so
So like,
cute.
He's so cute. Yeah,
You said
right.
he
look,
a grown man. He was handling business, but he looked so cute.
All
like he a
right.
little
I know
puppy.
I'm joking.
Like he is a
All
puppy.
right.
I'm joking,
So
but
where is he
Right.
now? Where is
he's
he
a
now though?
sweet.
Where is he now? Where is
He's
he
still
now?
around. I
Oh,
date.
okay, all right. Okay.
Could you be with
He
him though, being at 42 and you're at 50?
he's in the
Oh yeah,
stable. Y'all just leave
yeah.
him where he at.
The
He's
Tundra, Tundra,
he's a
could you
dick in the
date?
jar.
Could you be with him though at 42? Him being 42.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look like he's young, you
Uh huh.
know. I
So if he
guess
looked young and he was 46, what would be the difference?
I don't know. I guess it all depends. If everybody is comfortable, I'm comfortable. He was
Yeah.
definitely comfortable with me. And that's when you guys were talking about gender roles. Gender roles are what the couple makes it. You know,
Hmm.
like my ex-husband sucked at cutting the grass. I love being outside cutting grass, and I shape up my yard looks like a manicure, like look like a fresh haircut when I finish with it. It looked
Hmm.
like somebody
What?
jacked up the yard when he did it. So I think
All
I
right.
think
So
I
so
think
did the
gender
neighbors
roles
look at
are
y'all
what
funny? Like he got his woman out there cutting the grass.
no, because like he was inside washing the clothes. Like he loved washing clothes and ironing. He would stand there for hours and iron our clothes. And I
Hmm.
love that because I hated ironing. So
Right.
we made it work. And that's what I think, you make it work. We had a rule, whoever came in first would cook. He only knew how to cook chicken wings and spaghetti, but he made it work.
Right.
When it was his night, he made it work. So I loved it. And when we talk about just being equally yoked, I think it's more from a religious standpoint that Paul talked about that, but whatever equally yoked looks like for you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
um, whether it's we make the same kind of money or
Mhm.
we have the same kind of interest, whatever that is, that's what equally yoked mean. Unless you're talking about somebody who is baptized and goes to church and somebody who isn't. So because that's
That
what
was
Paul
Jay.
was
Don't
talking about.
that was Jay. Don't mix Paul up with Jay. Yeah, I'm
But
kind of
but
offended
but
right now.
on the flip side, right? Have y'all ha- have y'all had conversations about what his coming up or how he was brought up? Was he brought up like that? Like mom and dad made him do the same type of roles, like where mom had him doing certain things, ironing, washing clothes,
Mhm.
etc., and then his dad had him doing more of the manly type of things too? Or did he come up in a household with just one or the other type of parent? Because I'm just trying to figure out if that played out into him doing some of the things he's doing.
No, my ex-husband had both parents in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like my
Corey
dad, he
talks
loves to
about
iron
are
too.
you guys well, so Corey
He
Love had
says,
a
"Are
question. Are you
any of
guys
the ladies
dating with
dating?"
purpose? Are you guys dating with purpose or are you just dating just to be dating? You dating to try to get married
Purpose.
or like just some people here they have with intention is what they try to say. Like I'm dating with
Mhm.
intention. I'm intentional. I'm being intentional, you know. And I'm this is purposeful meeting people and I'm not trying to talk. I mean I just disagree with anything like that. But what do
Yeah,
you
I
guys
would
think?
say I don't want to get married right now. So if that's the purpose, then no, I'm not dating with that type of purpose. But I am not dating with no direction either. I'm dating to get to know people. I'm putting myself out there, with different people, coming from different backgrounds and learning new things about myself and other people.
Mm, that's
I
directional.
don't think that you have to get out and make everything a relationship right off the bat.
Mhm.
I think as long as
Mhm.
we're honest with each other and honest with where we're going, if you go into a dating relationship and say, "I don't want to have sex. I just want to date somebody. I don't mind paying for half the meals if that's what you want, but I just want to see where it goes." And if it goes
Mhm.
somewhere, great, go with it. If it doesn't, then gracefully bow out.
I sat down on
Yeah,
another show and they laughed at me, but that's a whole other story. Uh,
yeah, man.
some,
That's
but
that's what you're
yeah,
supposed to do. I
right.
mean,
So
that's what it
I'm
is,
gonna
man.
I'm gonna ask the ladies something. I want all three of them to answer. If you don't end up in a relationship ever again, will you be okay?
I will be very sad, but yes, I will be okay.
We knew Jill was gonna be good.
She was gonna be good. She
I
was
don't get
Hands,
mad for
clowning.
nothing,
hands.
but the
Because you
compassionate
have no
heart.
choice but to be good. You have no
No,
choice. If
but
this
I'm
is not
saying,
your journey, you have to be good with it. You got to be okay with it. May happen and it may not. You keep
Yeah.
trying. You keep putting out the good vibes. If it comes to you, it does. If it
Mm,
don't, this ain't your purpose in this lifetime. I'll come back next one and get
Yeah.
it. I don't know.
mm,
You know.
come back as a butterfly.
Maybe I was already
mm.
married in my previous life, and maybe this time I came back because that shit got on my nerves. Who's to say? I don't know what
True,
happened in a previous
true,
life.
true,
So maybe
true
this
that.
journey I'm
Yeah,
supposed to walk my this path alone, like freaking
I guess.
kung fu or something. But who's to say? But yeah, I mean,
All right.
That is an
gotta be
interesting
okay. You
point.
gotta roll with it if
The
that's
the
what
rest
it
of the
is.
ladies, let's hear what you.
I mean, I think I would be okay. I would I want to have a relationship, but if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. At this point, I mean, I'm doing me at this point, and I'm okay. Do you get lonely? Do you want that
Yes,
companionship, somebody to share the time
yes,
with you? Yes, of course you do.
yes,
But I'm not gonna go out here and try to make the pieces fit in order for
yes.
that to happen. So, you just have to see what happens. I think that there's somebody for everybody, but it all comes in time.
All
I
Time.
right,
think that
Papa.
there is
Good answer.
I think that there is somebody out there for me. I just tell everybody I am a praying woman, and I just, I tell God, you didn't mean for me to be alone. I know he out
Mhm.
there. I just need you to bring him to me. I'm just like, God didn't mean
Th-
for us to walk
Then
this
God
life by
already answered
ourselves.
your prayers. You was already married.
I like how
Yeah,
her
right.
voice changed when she
Yeah, I was
brought
about to
God
say
in.
that. I
It
was
whole
just about
voice
to say
switched
that.
up.
Right, right,
I am a praying woman,
right,
and if
right,
God brings him to me, he
right.
Stop
brings
it.
him to me.
Oh, you
She
not
she
gonna get
she
this
went
back,
in,
Amen.
boo.
Stop it,
right.
Rob.
She
Hey,
switched
You
the
You
whole
getting her,
voice
you
up.
getting her
Hey, you went
DM.
Okay.
something different
It's
with Tandra,
special.
boy.
right,
Speaking of that, y'all got
You,
personas, boy.
right. She went into deaconess mode. She was like straight deaconess right there.
But if it,
you
hey,
getting
I'm a
her DM.
praying
You gonna have
woman.
Sunday school with her DM.
Right,
You
exactly.
ain't, it ain't going down in her DM, dog. It's not going down. You have praise and worship. Yeah, praise
There's
and
some
worship
dudes in the
in her
chat right
DM.
now. They taking notes. They be like, "Yes,
Okay.
baby.
Like,
You know what
oh,
Genesis
shit.
says."
Shit.
Are any of you ladies against pursuing a
Upon
man?
No.
no.
He said, "What? What was your
Are
question?"
are are any of you ladies against pursuing a man?
No.
No.
And what does pursuing look like to you? Since you guys are saying no, what does that look like to you? What's the
expound
limit to
upon that.
what you? Yeah, what's the limit that
You're
you'll go
interested in
to?
a
Like
dude.
you see a dude out in the bar, would you approach him? Or you see him out in public somewhere, would you approach him?
Or if you got a crush
I
on
mean,
on the deal and you see him
Yeah, that's a good
at
question.
some sort of event.
Like, hey, you wearing that suit, yada yada yada. Would y'all
You
would
gotta
y'all
give her the
approach
game. You gotta
would
give her
y'all
the game,
approach any
dog.
man,
mm,
just complimenting them or anything like that, trying to icebreak or anything?
I
Or
maybe
would,
is
like
it
yes.
maybe a little flirting, but
yeah,
Hmm.
if I get you with the flirting, that's probably all the pursuing I'm doing.
yeah. If he ain't picking up, you ain't putting no more
Yeah,
down?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
Mm.
probably gonna keep the pushing.
I
He on he
definitely
on he
won't
on
do.
he
I
on.
definitely won't do the public thing. I guess no, no.
No
Yeah, that's
what?
that Maryland
What
shit.
you
They
mean
ain't
by that?
about to do that. That's like, that ain't proper. I lived in
No,
Maryland for a
you
while.
know what? I just,
Oh, that's funny.
I guess you know what. My father, God bless him, he put so many things in my head because one of the things he's always taught me, he was just like, Latondra, if a man really wants you, you never have to think about it.
True that.
And that's what I see
But
in
but
men when they really want a
but he's
woman,
just talking
they
about
pursue
initially.
her.
But he's just talking about initially though. Initially, you
Man,
see a
How you
guy.
know what
You
he was
see a
talking
guy at the
about?
gas station. You see a guy at the gas station. Y'all pumping gas. You connect. Your eyes connect. Then what? he get in this car and be like, hold up. You don't say hold up. Let me
Now let's
nope.
take it. Let's
Let that
take it
go.
even deeper. We can take it
Hmm.
deeper. You at a gathering with friends, and you've
Okay.
been hearing the dude. His conversation sound good. He looking good. You see him over there to get something to drink. Y'all next to each other. Would you say anything to him, trying to lead towards a certain direction, see where his head at, or are you just gonna keep it moving?
You gonna
I'd
see
say
if he
something.
makes a move. I know
Outside
Tia
of
gonna say
hello,
something.
how you
Tia, we
doing?
know.
No.
I'm like, I'll step to him. What the hell?
Tia,
This is.
What you got to lose, huh?
Tia,
I'm gonna.
Tia, we know.
Tandra got to get all that wine in her first.
I'm gonna get y'all off the hook, man.
Tandra gonna drink
Tandra and
every
Talika got to
last
get that
drop.
wine first.
She
No,
finished her glass. I'm still working on
I
mine.
think, I think Talika
Hey,
about it.
Talika turned the whole
I think,
thing all the way up.
Jesus,
Like,
I'm
man,
because
she getting it
it's
all out.
nothing but ice.
Talika
It's
done.
I think Talika
Tandra
about it.
did too. She got every drop out that mug, boy.
That is funny.
I think Talika is about it. I think she would do it.
Yeah.
No,
Talika
I
finna do
probably
it.
would
Slam a
make my
glass down.
presence. I would make my presence known. I mean, I feel like
Mhm.
I'm attractive. I'm
Hey, Tim.
I'm whatever. I'm gonna do my
You,
Yeah.
thing, and then
you gonna brush up against him a little bit.
no, I ain't brushing. I'm not gonna
Just
do
give him
all
Man,
enough
that. I'm
room.
just I'm
dude.
my vibe is good, so I'm gonna walk my walk and do my thing, and then if you approach me or you start a conversation with me, then we go from there. Otherwise,
Yo,
hey,
Yeah.
I got a quick
Have you ever
story, man.
had
I
it?
got a quick story.
Go ahead.
I got a quick story, man. So I'm out about, and I'm like guys with this lady, it's clear that, she probably think I'm cute, I'm not trying to exaggerate, right? So I walk past, I ain't do nothing, I'm just not my business, I'm just, being Jack. And she does a U-turn, I'm in, and like, she's like maybe 5'2", right? And she like runs into my right kidney and like pushes me almost over. It's like, oh, excuse me. I'm like, wow, that's how you gonna
Right.
shoot your shot right there?
Right.
I'm like, that's how you gonna shoot your shot? All right, I
Shoot.
respect it. I respect it. Like, okay, all right, let's talk. You know what I mean? So just kind of, if y'all need to do something like that, you want to get somebody, it actually worked. We going on dates, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? She picked me up.
So
That's
But
there's
go
a
ahead,
good.
go
guy
ahead.
I'm talking to. There's a guy I'm talking to now. We were in the army together and we both retired. And he hit me up on LinkedIn. Hey, how you doing? And we just went back and forth about where our careers have gone. And then the first thing he asked me, "Are you still married?" And I was like, "No." And then he dropped his number and he was like, "Call me." And it was so
Mm.
funny that that's literally how it happened. And
Mhm.
then from that, when we were in the army, he taught our step class, and I was like, I always had a crush on you, and he was like, "You should have told me."
What?
He was like,
Okay,
"You had
I'm
a crush
trying to
on me
tell
all
you.
that time."
Right.
Put it
Because it's
out
a
there.
lot
Put
of
it out there,
men that
man.
Mm.
it's a lot of men that are good men but don't approach women or don't know how to
Mm.
approach women, right? And that should be a
Right.
good thing for a woman because that means he ain't trying to holler at Susie Q and everybody else.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
a lot of men don't have
Right.
that, and it may not even be that he's not a alpha male. It may be more of he just don't know how to approach a situation. Some
Mm.
men are also just afraid of rejection. They still
Hmm.
good men. They just don't know how to deal with rejection. I don't think that
Mhm.
people should hold that against them. Like, but it's hard because you got guys, and when I was younger, I fell a victim to it sometimes too, where you see her flirting with you and whatnot, and yet you
Hmm.
still don't approach. And
Right.
so and I think people will sometimes try to put you in a box like, oh, the person's too good for them, or why you won't
Mm.
come over here, or whatever the case may be. But it's just a lot of guys don't know how to approach women. And I think women have grown to sum up this whole, oh, he want to chase me, he gotta chase me, and he gotta approach me if he really want me. Man, this dude could be the best thing smoking for you. But because he
Right.
ain't approached you, you broke him completely
Social
off. But
construct,
then
yeah.
complain about you single.
Mm.
But complaining
Right.
about you single. You ain't giving the right people the opportunity. The dude who came at you aggressive, 9 times out of 10, that's he coming at everybody because it's
Right.
easy for him. It's
He
Right.
playing a
easy for
numbers
him.
game.
Yeah, it's
Got
easy
you.
for him.
One
So
out. I need
I
one
like
out of 10. I need 1 out of 10.
I like
Yeah.
Miss I like
Got you.
Jarian's question about the talking phase and dating phase of the relationship. And how do you know when you've crossed the phase line?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know when you crossed it from talking to dating into a real monogamous relationship?
That
Because I
sounds
You
like
didn't
a
ask
know
the man.
conversation.
Ask
It's a
the man
conversation.
because we
That
we
sounds like a
assume too much.
conversation.
It's a
Yeah,
Yep,
conversation.
it's a
It's a
it is.
conversation.
conversation. Like,
conversation.
yo,
Man,
It
it ain't
has
no
yo,
to
I'm,
be.
you know,
conversation. Most of these people are leaving it to default. Like, oh
Yep.
shit, we
Mm-mm.
sliding
Yep.
together. We in
Yep.
public
we've
now. We
been,
in public now.
Yeah,
Even
that's
Shit,
the
on
that's
this
female
real.
stage.
response.
Yep.
Hey, listen, let me tell you, men throw their claws in women just like women throw their claws in men. When they find
Mm-hmm.
them the thing that's aligning to what they like or what they want,
Mm-hmm.
the moment a man show that woman some them qualities, they be pouncing. A lot of them pounce on you like, oh no, that's me. I need to go ahead and get that. And it's men
Mm-hmm.
doing it too. Like, when you hear these dudes talking about trying to lock a woman down with certain things and stuff, that's the same thing. They trying to throw claws in them because they
Mm-hmm.
finally found what they was looking for. And
Right.
and sometimes I think you have to really fully vet somebody before you start throwing your claws in them just because they showed you some of the stuff that you already told them. Like when
Yeah,
you give away what you
right.
Yeah.
want and
Right.
what you looking
Right.
for, hell yeah, the right one gonna play to that tune. Why wouldn't he play
Right.
that tune? You already
Right.
said you like it.
But
So that's what I go
yeah,
ahead, bro.
but the problem with throwing your claws in somebody is maybe they don't want your motherfucking claws on them,
claws.
True that.
right?
True
Mm-hmm.
that.
So,
True.
so for me, it's like I need to have that conversation because I need to know that you want to be here. Because if you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
be here, and I'm just trying to, trap you
Mm-hmm.
in or box you in or whatever the word is, then that ain't no good. I'd rather you
Ain't
be
no
like,
fun.
look,
Yeah,
that ain't no fun. That's like, I'm just
yeah.
trying to coerce you into this situation to make you, to make me feel better. You know what I mean? But the whole deal is, if you want to be here, that's much more enjoyable. So we need to have that conversation.
I
Yeah, I tell
agree. The
my
conversation
girlfriends
needs to be
to
had.
I tell my
Yeah,
girlfriends to do a year-end review. I said, just like at your job, just like, what's
Not
the
a year review.
evaluation? Where we going?
yeah. There was a thing about
Never
should
assume the
marriage,
relationship.
Nah,
right?
women
There,
asking
there was
inopportune times.
right. There was a thing about should marriage licenses expire
Yes.
and
Ooh.
I believe that too.
You need to go
And
renew that
should
Yeah.
joint.
they
Go renew
renew
that
it?
joint.
And
Hell yeah.
should they renew it? Absolutely, I believe that.
Yeah,
5 years. Be like, yo, where
Yeah.
we
yeah.
at?
Your
Where
license
we
is
at?
revoked. You
Yeah.
Is that
can't
what
get
you
this
tell
joint.
your kids? We didn't renew our license.
Hey, some of them motherfuckers need that too. Like, look, you ain't acting right
About
now.
time. About time, mommy. I was wondering when y'all was gonna put that shit down. I don't know why y'all stay married so
Right, right. But
long. Kids be like,
but
dang
kids a
God,
whole other
why haven't we
story.
together? Yeah.
That's a whole other story though. But
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. Yep, yep.
yeah,
Oh,
You
Geraldine has another question.
He's
I'm going.
find
he's
my question.
defining the first question.
It's
I
like
I
the
answered
had
the
person
sex
question.
with a
later has.
friend.
he got
Go
a
ahead, go
lot of
ahead.
what happened? I'm reading this. I'm
So I'm
going
going
to
to
define my
define my
question. I
question.
had sex with a friend.
I had
Ah,
said up front, the person later asked for a relationship. My definition is relationship with a purpose, but it was defined that a relationship was just an agreement not to have sex with other people. I can't see the rest.
I'm confused
Yeah,
on that one.
So he
nah,
asked the first, he was
Well,
the one that asked the first
it's
question about
exclusivity.
the different phases.
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Exclusivity. That's what he's talking about.
Right.
I think it's what
yeah.
he
But
Okay.
means.
that, I mean, all of that is an agreement, right? And you got to talk to the other
Yeah,
person because there's a lot of
yeah.
nah,
assumptions going
nah,
on
It's
here.
bruh,
all about
nah.
conversation.
Nah, it's
Yep,
about maturity and honesty,
maturity. You're
right?
right.
Because a lot
Yeah.
of women will be like, "Oh, I'm cool," and then shit ain't cool once she caught feelings or she feel like, "Oh, hell no, that shit's making me jealous." Now all of a
Right,
Right.
sudden it's a whole different damn issue, and you might not even get the hard conversation. You might
right,
just
Hmm.
get the attitude. So I
right.
mean, like you got to be willing to deal with that and understand that some of that stuff might come with it because it's been many times I told people up front, and then
I don't
they
know.
get the fucking
I
memory
I want
lapse.
to I want to say that Gigi
I
probably
have
had a
I
couple of
need a I have a
dudes,
question.
fall in love with her, and she was like, "Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. That was just sex."
That's exactly what happened. That's
Is that
exactly
happening
what
to you,
happened.
Gigi?
It just she wasn't digging him. You had a
Did that
question
happen
though.
to
That
Go ahead,
you?
happens
Gigi.
to women all the time.
That
That's
happen to
every
women
day
all
for
the
us.
time?
What
That's
was
every day
Gigi's
for y'all.
question?
I said that's every day for women, though.
All right, go ahead,
I
Gigi.
mean,
What was your
that's why
question?
the conversation needs to be had. You know how many times a man told me I don't want to be in a relationship, but treated me like a motherfucking wife? Really? So
Right.
then when I catch feelings, it's my fault, but you treat me like a wife. You spending
Yeah.
90% of your time with me. You buying me this, you doing that. I'm meeting your family, but oh, we not in a
Mm,
relationship. So what the hell is that?
Compartmentalize. You're not
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
compartmentalizing right.
we need to have a
that
conversation. What
conversation.
is this going? Who am
Right.
I to you
Mm,
or not?
What
So
are
we
you
all know
looking
how to
for?
play this right.
I think
Right.
one of the
Assume
other
nothing.
questions
Exactly.
that we should ask
Hmm.
ourselves at this age is that
Hmm.
sometimes we get into relationships and do we stay just because we're comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
And we
I
don't
know
want
a
to
lot of people
and
in
we
that
don't want to
oh
situation.
yeah.
get out there
Yep.
and really
Yep.
search for the
Yep.
mate that we need. We
I
stay
know.
with, if you can't
Man,
be
y'all
with the
stay to
one you
fix projects.
love the one you with.
Right.
Y'all stay to fix projects, man. That's what
Like,
They
y'all
oh
sure
do. Y'all
do.
no,
like, man,
nah.
I already poured half of my glass into this
Right.
fool. Let me at
Right.
Yep.
least get. I got to see if
Yep.
I can do it. One more year, I
Right.
might be able to do it. One more
Right.
Yep.
year, and
Yep.
Or
that fool
or
keep pouring water out his glass every time.
or they
But
don't
Hmm.
how
want to
long do
start
you
getting a
That's
new
a
stay?
that's a
glass.
How long do you how
Or
long
they
do
don't
you
want to
that's
stay
start
right.
for
getting
They
a
just
new one.
got
comfort?
a new glass
Yep.
going.
How long do you
Say
stay
that
for
again.
comfort? How long do you stay for
It's up
Then
to
you
comfort?
you.
realize
It's
that
up to
fool
you.
pouring that glass out while you still filling it back up.
Right.
When
You
you
gotta always
realize
put a
Right.
hole
that,
in the bottom of that thing. Got a hole in the
Right.
bottom of the glass.
Like
okay.
he
Pour it, it's
ain't
gonna come
even
right
paying
back
up,
out.
or he ain't pouring back into you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I see a lot of my friends, and family members, they're comfortable. And as
Yeah.
long
Hmm.
as everybody's comfortable, they stay, even though they're not really happy or
Yeah.
satisfied in the relationship.
Well, I think the problem too is when we broke up what the binary dynamics was, it influxed
Hmm.
a lot of variables, right?
Yeah.
So you got men that are now on all these different spectrums. Not that they weren't before, but with social media, we have now exposed that it's not just alpha and beta men. You got all kind of different versions of these different type of men. So you
Hmm.
don't have, oh, be like the daddy that's a provider anymore. You don't have, oh, this guy's just a cuddler. Like you don't have that. You got all these different versions of men, and you're trying to filter through them. Same way
Hmm.
men are trying to filter through what's a strong woman, because it's a lot of variations of a strong woman. You got strong women who like, I don't need men at all. You got the strong woman who's like, hey, I'm handling biz, but I know that this is a good man and he gonna take care of me and he gonna take care
Hmm.
of what he say he going to, and I could drop back. So you got all these different versions of men that are coming because we now have broken up what we consider traditional roles and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I think when you have that, you have men that weren't truly given what definitions were of being a man first and being able to take care of yourself and handle business, and then begin to go out there and see if you can take care of other things in the world. A lot of
Hmm.
them haven't even figured out how to take care of themselves.
Right.
It's good to say that, like, oh, I got an apartment, I got a car, and this, that, and the other. But a lot of us, including myself, shoot, some of us had mental health problems, and until you
Right.
went and got that cleared up and defined, and you have a path forward, there was no way for you to be able to move on with anything. And I think that because you have so many men, I feel like, have mental health issues, and some women
Hmm.
do too, that
Hmm.
they don't know how to have a hard conversation without it leading to some depression,
Mm.
anxiety, all of this shit,
Right.
right? So until a lot of people can get to a point where they can have that, you're going to have people on these different levels, right? Like y'all were
Hmm.
saying earlier, y'all must be talking about 30-year-olds because it's
Right.
different
Right.
levels. And you
Yeah.
Yes.
got to make sure when you dating on your level.
Your
Yeah.
level. That's
Everything
true.
Yes.
that appear
Yes.
good to you ain't
Yes.
necessarily on your level. So you
Yes.
got to
Right.
make sure you dating your level. And I ain't talking about high value tax brackets and all
Right.
of that.
Yeah.
You got to
Eric.
Yeah.
date for what's gonna make your vibration very shine, very bright, and vibrate very good.
I
One of
have
the
a
I see
things
you,
I
question.
Gigi.
tell my
I
son, and
agree.
he is 26, and he's my son through marriage. And I remember when he turned 18 and he was just like, I said, "Oh, you think you're a grown man now?" And he was like, yeah. I said, "But do you have the four shuns?" And he was like, "What are those?" And I said, "You need four things to be a real man." And I said, "You need an occupation. You
Mhm.
need a real occupation, a salary with benefits. I said, then you need your own habitation, your own house
Mm.
with your name on the lease or your name on the deed. And then you need an education. You need to
Mhm.
get whatever that education looks like for you, whether it's going to college or getting a vocation or
Mhm.
whatever, but you need an occupation. And I said, and
Mhm.
then last, you need a you need transportation. You can't pick up a girl on your bike. So I said, so what you gonna do? And so
But the
Use her
problem
car.
is though, the problem
when he
is y'all
turned
really want
when he
emotion
turned
too.
when he turned
Yeah. Yeah.
24, when he turned 24 and he
You want
moved out on his own, I said, you now have all four. You graduated from college, you got your own car, you got your own place. I said, because we've already taught him how to treat a woman well. You know, you teach that to your boys and your girls all the way through, you hope, like you said,
Right.
Rob. But now you're trying to teach him what it takes to take care of not
Mhm.
just himself, but the person you want to be with. You can't
Mhm.
come to the table with nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody got to come to the table
With
holding
something.
something. And what I
Mhm.
taught my children was those four shuns. Come to the table with the four shuns and work it from there. We taught you how to be good men and women. Come with your assets and try to meet with somebody in the middle. You're right. Our needs get different, but I don't want a man who is not secure financially, spiritually, emotionally at 50.
Yeah.
Right.
And
True
there
that.
are some of them. There are some of them. I want a man who's emotionally secure, financially secure, spiritually secure, healthy. You know, health means a lot at our age, especially with people of color. You know,
Mhm.
and that's what I said. You're not shooting like an AR-15 anymore. You got that six piece. You got to take care of yourself. You
Yeah.
know, as
Mhm.
we were talking about last week, you don't want no massage in your prostate. So you got to make sure that that's checked out with your doctor. Come
Yeah.
on now,
Mhm.
we got to take care of ourselves. You know,
True.
we got to let go of these high blood pressure, diabetes, medicines. We got to learn how to do things for ourselves. I don't want to take care of a man because he's let his health go.
Mhm.
And
Uh,
so
y-
that's some of the things that and vice versa for y'all. Y'all should want a woman who's secure financially, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and that you can be partner in that. That's what you bring to the table. I'm secure. I got my four shuns. I'm ready to
Mhm.
partner with someone.
Mhm.
Can I borrow her car though? I'm just saying, like, why
No,
I gotta have
Joe.
a car?
No.
No.
Why I
so
gotta have a car?
baby boy, baby boy.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
so you just described the things about transitioning to a man. But I think that that's a good list, but women want emotional men, right? Because they want cuddlers and they want people
Mhm.
that are going to tend to those type of needs. But what you just described is not falling in that spectrum. At least I'm going to say
Mhm.
this. If I was the young man on the receiving end of that, nothing in there spells talking to a woman's emotional needs, right? And that's the hard part. I feel like growing up as young men, because I grew up under a military father that was a
Mhm.
provider. I never seen no emotions from him, really, none. He was a drill sergeant. There was nothing. So
Right.
when it came down to emotional needs and catering to my mother, one, he wasn't. They weren't big on showing any of that. If they did any
Mhm.
conversations behind closed doors, it wasn't nothing in front of us. So we never saw none of that tending to emotional needs, any of that cuddling or anything like that. So it was more difficult as a man coming up because I naturally came out as a provider. I had to learn this whole understanding women and their emotional needs, and some of their some of more of the cuddling. And cuddling is just this umbrella that I'm talking about, basically.
Mhm.
Um, but like I got that whole what you just said. That's pretty much what my father gave me and said. This is what it's gonna take to be a man. But I struggled throughout my 20s and 30s dealing with emotions, especially with
Mhm.
women. because I did not know how to deal with when they felt sad or when they were going through transitions of things or anything like that, because I didn't necessarily have that example in my life. My dad was a drill sergeant, my mother was military too. So shit, I was catching it on both ends. They were both hard. So it's like I see a lot of young men and men in general coming up that don't know how to display that because we were never taught that type of stuff. But then you
Right.
have women say, I'm not finna teach a man how to be emotional and all of that. He need to have his emotions together. But shit, none of them never knew what that looked like. And you got a
Right.
lot of women that say you're not being tending to my emotional needs, but how the hell does he know what your emotional needs are unless you having conversations and displaying that to him? And I think that we have to get better at those kind of conversations. And women have to understand that a lot of men were not exposed to a lot of that. And I think people think it's a understood. Like, oh, sure, when you said you love me, it was understood that you knew how to do this because you said
Hmm.
you love me. Hell no. Shit,
Right.
we all know a lot of people say I love you in a lot of situations they ain't ready for it.
Hey
But it's
Rob, can
not.
I go ahead,
Go
go.
ahead, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Can I add to that?
Sure, go ahead.
Um, a lot of women, and I'm not going to say anybody on this panel or women in general, but a lot of women don't even get along with other women. How in the hell are other men supposed to understand and get to that point where they understand women? Because women don't even vibe with each other. You know what I mean? Like I could go in a bar and dudes would just vibe and be like, either I rock with you or I don't. You know what I mean? And with dudes, it's like, either we gonna fight or we gonna be cool, right? But with women, it's so much more complicated, right?
I think that
So
could go both ways, though. I mean, you may be that type of dude that can go to a bar and vibe with the dudes that's in the bar, but there are other guys that are aggressive and they the same way as some women. Like, man, I don't mess with dudes like that. You know what I'm
I
saying? Why,
yeah,
why
yeah.
you looking at me like that? So that could go
No,
both ways.
it goes
Mhm.
both ways, but I'm saying I see it more with women. Uh, uh,
Yeah, I mean,
um,
you're
I
absolutely
see it.
right. A lot of
I
times
see it
women
more with
don't vibe
women.
with one another.
Why? Why is that?
I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. I can just say that sometimes
Most
it's a
likely.
maturity thing. Sometimes it's a maturity thing. Um, sometimes women we have this thing for a lot of people that it's a silent competition. Like I'm not competing with you, but you looking at me and you competing with what I have going on. So a lot of times, it's some type of little beef going on in the friendships, or that's friendships. But I'm saying, just if I don't know another female, I don't feel one way, no way about you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know you. But women are competitive. They compete. It's a lot of jealousy. If you come in and you looking nice, we have to learn how to compliment one another. Sometimes, you may walk into a building and you looking nice. I'm one of them kind of people that say, "Oh, you look nice today." But everybody's not like that. So it's different situations for different people. It depends on what kind of person you are.
I don't
I think
think that
that a
being
lot of
a
that has to deal with. One second, one second. I think a lot of. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I got to get this out. But I think a lot about how women are and how men are is because of how we've been conditioned through social constructs and what's proper and what's not proper. And what it is just what is the masses deem is what's best at the time. And it's really not has nothing to do with us being efficient with one another, being well with one another, being able to exist and and bounce off each other and create a more happy situation. You know what I'm saying? And so now you have, like you said, Paul. It's because women feel as if they have to win the man, and once you win the man, and then competition with other women, none of that exists, man. None of it exists. And so for me, like we talked about a whole bunch of stuff, man. I mean, the Shans and just I think it's something to be said about just being able to just break it all the way down and say, you know what, we just need to be efficient with one another in the moment that we're in. You know what I'm saying? We need to figure out how to a way to just to value the connection over the social construct and the oppression of things. You know what I'm saying? So And so it is more so about, all right, do I vibe with a person? Do I not vibe with them? If I don't vibe with them, it's okay. I don't have to, well, they rejected me, so you start cussing them out. Like that. Why are you doing that? Because of your ego. It doesn't exist. And so I think a lot of this has to do with just us being more efficient in the moment and accepting, what it actually really is. And actually leading with love and everything instead of leading with your ego and trying to protect yourself, from hurt feelings, if you will. That you literally are just choosing to be hurt. But that's just that's my opinion. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't think that you can compare a woman's relationship with other women than how she has a relationship with a man. It's almost like comparing apples and oranges. Um, and so I'll just leave that there. I just think that, but I do agree that as far as women are concerned, of you, we all live in really highly inner real major cities in America. And when you go to major cities in America, people of color usually congregate there. And when you see that, you usually see women outnumber men, sometimes 8 to 10 to one man. There are eight to 10 women to every one man. So it's a competitive environment. And so, in that competitive environment where you see competition, you will see people try to eliminate others, either by fussing, fighting, talking about each other, or literally knocking somebody down to be with somebody else. So where there's competition, you will always see a fight, whether it's
Okay.
physical or mental. That's
Okay.
just us as primal people.
So you'll
so
settle. So you'll
basically, I got
settle. That's what you'll do.
so basically, I got the four shuns, and I got 8 women fighting over me. Right? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what
Basically.
you got.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying if I had the four shuns, if I had, I'm still working on the car part. But let's say I had the four shuns, then now I'm a commodity, right? And now these women are fighting over having this commodity,
Your
like
high value.
right, the high value man, whatever the fuck, right? Um,
BMW, black man working, doing his
a
thing.
black man work, right,
Hey, I like
right,
that.
right. So this competition that exists, um, is it does it play into the problems that are in the dating game? And not eliminating that the guys have some responsibility in this because we know we could play the field because we got 8 women fighting over us, right? So does that play into it? Like, can you just be like, you know what?
Mhm.
If this dude want me, or if I don't have to compete with this woman or these women for this dude to recognize who I am. Like I'm the prize of these 8 women or whatever the ratio is, right? Do women have that kind of mentality about it? Because as a dude, I know that when I walk into a spot, them dudes might be taller, they might have more muscles, they might have more money, but they ain't me.
True.
None of
Facts.
them niggas is me. And
Yeah.
I don't have to compete with
That's
that.
right.
High value.
Oh,
I don't,
nice.
I don't have to compete with
Good.
none of them motherfuckers.
Good.
None of them. Because I'm a different dude. I'm the dude that's gonna be, you know,
Well,
value
But
to
that's
her.
how you
I don't think
being
that
you
this
OG.
you
is.
being
Smell good.
comfortable with yourself though. You're comfortable in your own skin, so you feel like you know what you bring to the table. But everybody don't have that same philosophy about themselves.
I mean,
Well,
but
I don't feel like. I'm sorry. Go ahead, G.
I just feel like what he was saying. Yeah, I feel like you. I'm that bitch in the room. I'm that woman. I'm the one you really do want to take home, but because I don't have a fat ass and I'm not shaped with a donkey booty or whatever else it is y'all looking at for that
Oh, here we
moment, you don't
go. Here
see
we
that.
go,
No,
man.
I'm
He might
serious.
like your
Men are
glasses.
visual.
Oh,
Men are visual. You guys look and see the
But
package
you're
first before you tap and see if this
but
girl
you're an
has a
attractive
brain,
woman.
if she can
I'm
lead a
I'm looking I'm
household, if
looking
she
I'm
can be a
looking at
wife.
you right now. I'm looking at
Nah,
you right now. You
I
come with
think
all these excuses. You fine.
It's not an
Your
excuse.
sister
It's
fine.
not
You
an
know your other
excuse.
sister's probably fine.
It's my experience.
What you mean excuse?
That's not an excuse.
Okay.
She
Okay.
Nah,
said
but
It's
so.
not an
some
excuse.
men just
So
compartmentalize what
a
they
man
looking for.
told you. So a man told you, I'm not gonna take you home because you got your booty not big enough. Dude told
No,
you
I've
that.
never had anybody kick me out of bed behind that, but they have made that an issue. All the women that they turning their heads at have big asses. All the women they post on their page have these things. So
That's
what you
all.
with me for? I don't look like that. So then now am
Cause you
I
can't handle
going
the
to have to
household.
worry about you always looking for a fatter ass, even though I'm a good woman? I mean, these things play into it too.
Right.
So what if you see the fat
I
ass
think that's
going across the
PTSD.
TV? What's the
Yeah.
difference?
I think that's PTSD. I think we're dealing with some
And
anxiety.
it
Though.
could be.
I think
Pancake PTSD.
I
You
think
know?
what we're,
He
but I
said
think what
pancake.
we're comparing. I think what we're comparing is things that we see in media or Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah,
We don't
exactly.
naturally
Yeah,
in everyday
that's not
life.
real.
We don't know that we're competing.
Right.
We don't usually know that what
Right.
we're competing against when we're dating somebody. Usually that's not public to us. But what we see exposed in the media, it does look like that. It looks like
Right.
a big fight every day. But
Right.
in real life, it
It's
doesn't
not.
it doesn't look like that. So, but
It should
just
look
as
like
some of
that.
the comments are flowing through here, of course, we as women, we may look at somebody and like, dang, I sometimes wish I had a bigger booty, and my booty ain't no joke. But
It's an ass. It's an ass.
but
All over the place.
my sister is way more well endowed than I am. She got,
Let me see. Let me see.
and
There
and
you
a
go.
big and
What's
a
her
big
name?
booty.
I know, right? What's her name?
What's
Look
her
at Jay
name?
feeding the
What's her name on
stereotype.
Facebook?
Jay feeding the
Right.
stereotype.
Is she married?
She is not married, but she got everything.
Oh, okay.
I think it's where the man's head is at,
Mm,
right?
Yeah.
True.
that's
Some
true.
of us had all our Playboy years
Double
early, and then
entendre.
your mind
Yeah.
starts to change a little bit when you get older, right? I
Mhm.
mean, to be real, sex goes real fast. Like
Mhm.
That's right.
like most people, just generally speaking, most of these folks ain't going longer than 15 minutes. So we talking 15 minutes to fame. We ain't talking about me,
Yeah.
but we talking about a lot of people out here because they don't
Right.
because a lot of people not
You
about
talking about
pleasure.
me? You
They
talking
not
Right.
about
about
me right
pleasing
now?
nobody else. When you're not
Right. They're
about
about
pleasing
getting off.
nobody else, yeah, you could do
Right.
15 minutes. And some of these
Right.
fools do 15 minutes because they can't please you. So it's about trying to get it done real
Right.
fast,
Shoot.
right?
Right.
Mhm.
So I mean, you got to really
Shoot.
be.
All I need is
Shoot,
15.
Jay said he ain't pleasing nobody. If he ain't pleasing you in
I
15,
don't
that's
need.
it.
Doc said 5
Oh,
minutes.
that's all. I need
15.
5 to get your ass. All I need is
Listen,
5.
5 minutes.
You
Man,
know, I don't need.
It's
It started way
man.
before we even started
I'm
having
trying to
sex.
make them.
We started way
I'm trying
before
to make
that.
them fall in love with
We
me
started way
every
before
time.
that.
I'm
Okay.
trying to make them all fall in love with me. I don't care what. I don't want to give you 15
Look,
minutes. I want to make you fall in love. Shit.
Okay.
I'm trying to make them all fall in love.
see, but then
Some of y'all just y'all ain't trying to get the comeback. Y'all just like, oh, I
see,
want a one and done. No, I ain't trying to one. Not if
shoot.
see,
it's good. Not
see,
if
but
it's good.
Rob,
You
you
What
know,
I'm
better throw
trying to
that
tell you,
boomerang.
what I'm
well,
trying
You
to
better
Rob,
tell
throw
you
you
was
that
is
just cussing.
boomerang.
sex is a side
Rob,
effect. Sex is a
Rob, you was
that's a
just
side
cussing out.
effect of what I do.
Bro, listen, I was the worst kind, bro. I'm telling you, because I'm gonna make love. I'm gonna do you like I'm gonna do you, boy. That's what was
Right.
my problem when I was younger, bro. Like when you putting in that work on everybody, that's the wrong thing to do, bro. I should have listened to my
Yeah,
pops when he
you can't
said,
do it to
"Don't give it
everybody,
all
dog.
to all of them." That's
So
how they
Rob,
go crazy.
so you gonna give them
Mm-mm.
that 45 minutes and no breakfast, or I could give them the 15 minutes and a big ass meal. You know what I'm saying?
She
Like
might
we
not want no
gonna work this
motherfucking
out.
breakfast when I'm done with her. She
She
might want to
might.
just go to
She
sleep.
might. She might be
Yeah, she gonna
hungry
tap out.
45 minutes.
She
45
might
minutes.
want to go
That's
to sleep.
well I'm saying. She gonna wake up the
Man,
next morning hungry.
Yeah, we can cook. I can cook. No, I ain't the average dude though. Y'all boys already
some
know me.
grits.
Y'all know I
That's
can
right.
cook.
Yeah, you
I
yeah,
just
you can
ain't
get
cooking for
down. That macaroni and
everybody.
cheese is right.
Right.
I just
That
ain't cooking for
macaroni and cheese is
everybody
right.
because a lot of women will take that and run with that. They ain't all just like I said, like we said earlier, all women can't compartmentalize. They can't
Right.
say, oh, he just cooked breakfast for me today. Nah, it's
Right.
Right.
like, oh, player must really think it's more than what it is. Now her mind wondering like, maybe let me test the waters. Then guess what? That hard conversation come up because you tested
that's
the
cool.
water. Like,
But the
yeah,
conversation need to
but you
happen
fucked your
anyway.
dick up. You messed up your good sexual partner because when it came to me, I'm like, oh hell no, because it seemed like
No,
this
you
fixed to
already
go the
making them
wrong
fall in
way.
love with the 45
Nah, bro,
minutes.
but I don't want that craziness. After that goes back to what I said. When you
You gonna
have
get
that
the craziness.
conversation, no, I could speak about the brothers fucking up because I was the one doing it. Like,
I think
staying
this
over
just
it,
turned
me and
into
Testify.
a
Brandon.
You
the
can
men's
testify.
show.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know,
nah.
right?
But anyway, all right. So we gonna get back to the ladies.
Yeah. Latanja's right. I was getting ready to jump in and
Thank
start cutting
you.
y'all off.
LaShonda,
Here you go.
LaShonda,
Go
you right,
babysit,
right.
man.
Back
Go
to
babysit.
your sister. Back to your sister, LaShonda. Yeah, for real. What's the social media? I'm messing. Go ahead.
Hell no.
Who's got a question? Who's got a
So,
question? Who's got a question?
so do you
That
ladies?
got a question. Dak,
Do
what
you
was your
Dak,
question,
Dak,
man?
got
He
beat
don't
up.
have a question.
Oh, you
He
trying to
Jack
continue
over there
on
holding
it.
his head.
The kids, they wore him out.
Yeah, them
You
kids
have
don't
any?
warm me out, man. I'm like, man, look at here. I was
You
getting
got any?
fall asleep on y'all. I was really
You
showing
got
my
any
face
questions in the
away.
comments?
But I think I don't know if y'all answered the question I had posted in the chat. You know what I'm saying? At this age, what do you
Okay.
really, you know what I'm saying? We know relationships are all about compromise. What are you really willing to compromise for a relationship today?
I don't even know what that word means. What do you mean by compromise?
God damn, what the hell?
I don't know what that means.
Now we're starting to
Compromise
get
what?
the crux of
I'm giving you everything. What
compromise.
am I compromising?
Whew.
What is everything? What is everything?
Everything you
What is
require or need.
everything?
I don't know.
Is it peace?
Man, let me go get
That
a drink
depends on
because
the
I
individual.
Is it peace of mind though?
It could
Is it
be.
like
peace of
It
mind?
could be peace of mind. It could be.
That is a good question.
It could be.
But
mm.
what does that mean to you guys though?
No.
You
You
could be
can't flip it
you
back
think
on us.
given
This
about
is
the
y'all.
ladies.
everything,
Okay, I'm just asking. I don't
but a
know.
man is not still ain't got peace of mind.
When the men started talking, y'all said
You know?
it was turning into the men's show. We want to hear y'all. What are y'all willing to compromise?
What do
don't
you
know.
mean?
No.
What are we
I think
willing
the
to
only thing
compromise?
that
I
I
mean,
don't get the question. I'm sorry. I'm
Gigi.
slow.
If you think about a relationship, right?
Gigi.
You've been
Yes.
in relationships before, right? And you know
Yes.
that every day there's something that you might have to compromise. It may be something as simple as having to compromise where you decide to eat, having to decide, you know what? I'm not gonna, I'm going to, instead of try to prove myself as being right for the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just
Pick
sit
and
this
choose
one out
battles.
for the
Mm-hmm.
pick and
happiness of
choose.
this
Pick your battle.
relationship. You know what I'm saying? So when we
I don't
think
have
in
to have
terms of
at
that
this point.
in a relationship, what do you are you willing to say, hey, you know what? I'm willing to, you know what I mean, I'm willing to take the 80-20 rule, right? And this man might not have everything here. He may not have all his teeth. You know what I'm saying? But he's a
He
good
gonna
man.
need to have all his teeth now, but okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Right.
hey, y'all know
Or
he might be able to do something with that. He might be able to do something on the vulvas,
you know what I'm saying?
the missing
You
teeth
know,
thing. He
you know
might
what
be
I'm
able
saying?
to fix that thing.
Being willing to, you know what I'm saying? Because I was listening to some of it. I was in between with the kids, but you know what I mean? I heard someone say something about the four pillars or
Sean.
something
The
like
four
that.
sons.
The four sons.
That's pretty good.
Four
Four
sons,
sons.
different
That's
things of
pretty
that
good.
nature,
Four
right?
sons.
But let's say
That's pretty good.
he's only
Pretty good.
coming with 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Or let's say he's at a point in his life where he's really he's a great man, but he's trying to progress, which may require him to work long hours. But you guys can still have some time. Are you willing to compromise that, you know what? We may be in a committed relationship, but I may only see him 3 times a month. But those
All right,
3
Dak.
days out the
Let
month
them
are
talk,
the
Dak.
best 3
Let them
days.
talk.
You know what I'm saying? No, I
I
was
think
explaining it to him. Don't try to play me, Jay.
Yeah,
Y'all
I got
waking
you.
me up, man.
Wrap it
I
up.
think
Wrap it
all
up. Wrap it
people.
up.
I
Mhm.
think if you really want to have a good relationship, everybody's compromising, everybody's sacrificing. The only thing that I do not compromise is integrity, and the only thing in self-respect. Um, Everything else, time, he wants me to go look at Game of Thrones. I might
Lies.
hate Game of Thrones, but if that's what he
Lies.
wants, I'll look at it. Or can we trade off a month? You get the movie you want one month, I get the movie I want a month, and we sit down and we watch it together. I have a married couple across the street. Her husband goes to Renaissance every summer. She's like, I hate Renaissance. She said, I'll go to the first day, then I'm out. But she compromises for her husband. He wants her to come along. She's like, okay, I'll go that one day, but then the rest of the Renaissance, you're on your own. I
So
just
she don't
think
take
that
on a name and a costume or none of that. She don't
yeah,
participate.
no.
She
She's
don't get
like,
the lance
You
and
go
the big
LARPing?
turkey leg.
She don't go
You know what I
LARPing?
mean? Right.
Wait.
people go to
Turkey leg, man.
baseball
Oh, yeah.
games. They don't know nothing about baseball.
Right.
I
Right.
love football. I'll sit there at the tailgate. I'll be up in the stands talking trash. That's me. I love basketball. I'll go to a game. I'll sit there, but that's not for everybody. That's
True.
when we were talking with Dreaded Prince about 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about doing polyamory and having the other person do those things that you don't want to do. But if you don't have that polyamory, you're gonna have to sacrifice and compromise.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly. And
so
my
you're
bad, Ron.
retired.
Go ahead.
You're retired military. I didn't hear nothing about clean, organized, no nothing. So you could deal with an unclean, unorganized male. Yeah, prior military. You
How
retired military.
disorganized, though? How disorganized?
I
How
also
dirty,
had
though?
3 brothers, so
Uh huh.
I'm
They gotta
used
be
to.
really
But
dirty,
I'll
man.
tell
Hold up.
people, I'm okay. I'm okay with organization. I'm not okay with nastiness. That's
Right.
where
Yeah, like,
that's where my line is
wash your
Hold up.
drawn.
ass,
She's
dog.
retired military. I need to
Mm-hmm.
holler because they get a good check. You know what I mean? Hey, how
Right.
you doing?
Oh,
Our
yeah, you
inbox
double
about to
dipping right
blow up.
now. You double
Okay,
dipping.
she might be getting multiples,
Double
man.
You
dipping.
know what I mean? And she could get a
Disability,
All you
job
do is
come
send
from
still.
you
the
a,
VA.
And she could still get a job.
send you a
What?
scripture real
Bro,
Right.
don't
quick.
be
Right.
putting my stuff out in the
And
street.
My
Come
bad,
on
Dad.
now.
Too late. Too late.
you can cook too. You can cook too.
And cook? What? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
my question came from because before the show I was just kind of looking at different profiles, and I noticed in reading a lot of women profiles, they have a list of what they won't do. You know what I'm saying? And for men sitting back watching, you know what I'm saying? A woman, she's kind of saying, "Hey, I'm fed up with this, fed up with that." But on the flip side, some men are looking at it like, you know what? This
It's
woman is
all true.
already telling me she's not willing to compromise in a relationship. So I know
Nah,
coming in, I got to put my
yeah.
boxing gloves on. You know what I
It's
mean?
not even
And
compromise. I just see
What?
trauma. Like
hmm
it's
Yeah.
like, man, she been traumatized, so she already know what she been through and don't want, and that's
hmm
cool. But if you put a dating profile out there, isn't it the purpose to attract somebody and not to be like, you know what I mean? But
It's the
that's just
dragnet.
me.
It's a dragnet. They want
Passive
to filter it.
aggressive.
They want to filter it.
I'll
Yep,
say
they
Yeah,
what
want to
but
my
filter it.
aunt
Well,
said because she gave me a lot of wisdom when I was a young person and we were talking about infidelity in a marriage. And one of the things that my aunt told me, she said, look, you don't know what you won't do until you in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So don't say
mm-hmm,
what you're not
yep.
going to do until you get there.
mm-hmm,
And she's like, and then when you
mm-hmm.
get there, you come tell me what you did. And
Mm.
she said,
Okay.
because it's probably not what you're saying you're going to do right
Man,
now.
I'm
Right.
trying to tell you. Mhm.
And that was from a
So that's
woman
next
married
week,
over
Carmen.
30 years.
Carmen, that's gonna be next week. The
That's next
men will
week,
be talking
Carmen.
about
Yeah,
what we're willing to compromise next. That's. But yeah, Auntie came with that wisdom, man. Like you until you put them shoes on, like all you doing is speculate. You don't
Yep.
know. You don't know. You don't know. Right? You know what I'm saying? Stop judging people. Stop it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We
You
all
never
human,
say
man. We
never because
all
you
are
don't know what you
imperfect.
will or will not do.
That's right. That's right.
But I
You
said,
never
but
know.
to Jack's question about compromise, I mean, I think that a relationship is compromise. But the only thing is, my only thing is, as long as it's not one sided compromise. If it's not just the
Right.
woman that's
Yep.
doing all the
Right.
compromising and
Reciprocity.
the man is not
Reciprocity.
compromising, a balanced
Yep.
relationship.
You
Hmm.
got to have
That's
somebody
a
who
great point.
understand what the compromise is,
Yeah.
True.
because
Right.
you're gonna have a lot of people who will be
Hmm.
like, "Nah, that wasn't no compromise to me."
Right.
Right.
Because you
That's
Exactly.
always
why I was
find,
Yeah.
asking, what does that mean?
I find a lot of people who will be like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, I did this to you, so you should do it." Wait, whoa, you did that.
Hmm.
That was
Yeah,
you that accepted
you
that. That don't
definitely have
mean
to
no,
have the conversation.
for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah, because you
I
can go to all their
Hmm.
sports games or do the stuff that you don't like to do, but doing it because of your partner. But then when it comes down to stuff, it could be as simple as a movie. Nah, I ain't finna watch no girly movie.
Hmm.
You know, it's those
Mhm.
simple type of things.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Go
right
ahead,
though.
Ron.
Yeah, so I have
Yeah.
one last
You're right.
question for you,
Yeah.
ladies, because it's a big thing I think that really is going on today. So, could you ladies date a man with mental health issues if he's actually seeking
Mm.
help and taking his meds and stuff like that? Do you think you could deal with, fluctuation of an individual like that? Because a lot of people I feel do have mental health issues, whether it's depression, anxiety, bipolar, all of that good stuff. I just think a lot of
PTSD.
people are, yeah, a lot of people are not documented. Um,
Yeah,
if you
you're
happen to
right.
come across somebody who's very open and honest about that, would that be a red flag to you, or you think that's something that you might be able to overlook and still be able to get to know the person?
I think if you honest with yourself and you're seeking help or you realize the issue, then it's not a problem. But I mean, I've come across people that you have some true issues, but you saying you not you don't have a problem. I have a problem with that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I don't, so to answer your question, I think if that person is actively, getting treatment or trying to make the best of that, then yeah. But if you just crazy as hell and you not admitting it and you not trying to do nothing with it, no.
Hmm.
I think James Baldwin said it best when he said to be black in America is to be enraged all the time. So if you black and you live in this thing called life, we all got some things that we need to unpack for a therapist. We're all on the spectrum of DSM. So
Mhm.
Preach.
so don't
Preach.
Thanks.
but I think the person who can honestly say it out loud and go seek help is the stronger person, and they shouldn't be stigmatized because they have mental health issues. Hell, I mean, I was in Afghanistan and a 500-pound bomb hit my post, and when I was under a wooden table with scaffolding falling all over me, I was like, there are times even today I feel that bomb, I hear that bomb. And so you never know what you're going to go through life. Something hits you, and you're reliving that time in your life over and over and over
Trauma.
again.
The trauma.
Many of us
Mm.
have PTSD,
Yes.
whether it's a relationship, whether
Hmm.
it's something our parents did to us, something that
Yeah.
happened in school, being bullied. We all have something that we're working through, and never ever denote anybody. Don't come down on people because they have those issues, because
Hmm.
there are things that we come in contact with every day that we cannot control,
Yeah.
but it's happening
Amen.
to us.
Hmm.
And we have to mentally deal with it. And so I tell people, I still keep my therapist on speed dial. We call each other by
Speed
our
dial.
first
Mhm.
names now. When I
Hmm.
retired, she even took me into her private practice because I wrote a long letter to the Army, because they told me when I retired that they would no longer let me see my behavioral health specialist, the person that I had been seeing for
Mm.
3 years. And you don't know what you're doing to a person when you take them from their therapist. That's a
Hmm.
relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I'm
Yep.
starting a private practice and I want you to come. And still I see her to this day. and she has been the best thing that ever happened to me, and she has made me
awesome.
What God hasn't worked on, she's been working on.
Yeah.
There you go. There you
Oh,
go.
he working
But you've
through it.
been working on it. You've been working on it. You know what I'm saying? You going through. You know what I'm saying? You're front and center right now. Gigi, what's up? What's up with you?
Yeah, what about Gigi?
I guess it would depend on what type of mental illness and how it was displayed. I really don't know because I don't think I've ever come across that. So I couldn't honestly say if I would be down with it or not. I don't know. I guess I would try. I'm definitely down to help and be supportive of someone if they're seeking help, but honestly, I don't know. I mean, if he's just batshit crazy, I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder if a lot of other people say
That's
they do it
interesting.
because of other people's
Mhm,
opinions, because
mhm.
we all hear people say, oh girl, he was
Yeah.
Stigma.
depressed, and girl, that shit was hard
Right.
on me and all that. And I'm thinking to
Yeah.
myself, like, you a totally different individual than this person over here, though. So like,
Yeah.
you might have made him
Mm-hmm.
depressed. You might have
Right.
you might have triggered him into the
you were
stuff,
you were the trigger. That's right. You were the trigger.
for
Right.
real.
Right.
Yeah, you the reason why. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, well,
So
that's
Gigi,
cool. Well,
we've been talking all night, G, and a lot of times when we ask you questions, you always seem to have, not necessarily have, not knowing what the answer is. You didn't know how to define something. You know what I mean? I just wanted to kind of like, give yourself an opportunity to kind of just kind of talk some more about like, you know, some of the things that just some more substance to some of the things that we've been talking about tonight, and kind of just give your point of view on it. Like, so what is your philosophy in dating? Like, what do you look for in a relationship? What is important to you? Like, it's just real quick. I know you're about to sign off real quick. I just wanted to get, because a lot of times you was kind of like, I wouldn't say deflecting, but it's like, what do you mean about compromise? What is it? What is gender roles? You got really kind of expound
Well,
it
you
on
have to understand, I
what do
haven't
you
been
mean?
in a relationship for over 10 years. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm just not privy to. And then the stuff that I have
Okay.
been in dealing with, it is post-traumatic stress syndrome. So there's a lot I'm still weeding through. What's important to me is reciprocity. When I'm giving to you my love language,
Mm,
I need to see it come back. If it's not coming back, I have to
we'll do it,
remove
Rob.
myself. And that has been
I
the
We'll do
situation.
it.
I've been nurturing, I've been giving, I've been open, I've allowed a lot of things that I wouldn't normally allow just to give the brother, opportunity, give us an opportunity to know each other,
mm,
speak each other's language, figure the pattern out. Uh, that's important to me. I need to see it come
mm.
back. I need to see that you're putting in the same effort I'm putting in. And if it's not, then that's fine too, but I got to remove myself. That's important to me. Communication is a
You said
big deal to me. So when I hear a brother say he busy, that's a red flag. That means you're not here. You're not going to have time to nurture or talk or get deep into stuff. So you're already put up a wall for me. You're busy. So already there's a wall right
mm,
there. So how
mm.
do I get past you're
So
busy?
it's
Okay,
kind of
I've
like it's
had
the short
brothers tell
fuse in
me,
there, like
yeah, so I've had brothers tell
it's a
me they
short
don't like
fuse.
talking on the phone. They don't like texting. They don't like being all up on social media. So in this day and age, if I'm not physically in front of you, how do we communicate? How do we talk to one another at this particular point? I'm a talker, I'm a giver. If I wake up in the morning and you on my mind, hey babe, good morning, hope you have a blessed day, that bothers some men. That really gets under their skin. I mean, for real. Like, I had a
Mhm.
brother, he's like, I did customer service from 9 to 5. So when you call me at 5, I got an attitude. I don't want to talk to you. So, okay, I don't talk to you today. I don't talk to you tomorrow. I don't talk to you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, at what point can I, as your woman, come to you and have a conversation? I know you don't like talking on the phone. I know you don't like texting, but I do. So where are we at? So
Mm,
where do we go with
Un-
this?
mm.
So I don't know.
Understood.
This new day and age with social media and stuff is really confusing to me. I don't know how to maneuver it at this particular point. So I'm open for all of it. I'm open to suggestion, questions, to learn, to grow, whatever.
I heard that
All
trigger
So
right,
yeah.
phrase.
yeah, man, we getting ready
That was
to
a
wrap
trigger,
it up,
man.
right?
Love
But
language.
you
Okay,
you
okay,
said one.
Gigi.
You said
Okay, Gigi.
yeah. Yeah, we getting ready to wrap it up. You said one word, which I know is Rob's favorite universe. Well,
We gonna
I,
unpack that in another show.
yeah. So
You have
I'm
Gene. We're gonna have Gigi back on the show.
I
We're gonna have you back.
definitely want to have.
You don't
No,
mind.
I want to have you.
I
I
think
want to
it's
have
good for
y'all
you.
back
We want to
on
kill her.
so we can talk about love languages. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't 2 hours in and all y'all look like y'all half sleepy, you know what I'm saying?
You the only
Hey,
one look sleepy.
that
Hush up.
you saw my face soon. She said love language.
I
Okay.
knew. I knew. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'll give it to y'all. Do y'all want to discuss love language right now, or y'all want to we do it on another show?
We'll do another one, man.
We'll do it on
Let,
another
let,
one when we're all
come
fresh.
on. Let,
Hmm.
Yeah, because we
yeah,
need to
No,
unpack
no,
that.
no. That's perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. I was hoping y'all was gonna say that, so that way I ain't have to do like I do to your sister when she started talking too much. Start putting up 1, 2, 3. All right,
Ah,
10
there you
seconds. That's
go.
it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we definitely want to have y'all back on. Everybody, thank you for joining. We appreciate it. Make sure if you enjoyed what you heard or you enjoy any of the shows, make sure you like, subscribe, uh, forward, share it. All those funny words that they use on social media now. You know what I mean? But we're gonna go ahead and end like we normally do. You got to lead the people with something. So we're gonna start with Gigi. Leave them with something, one thing, one comment, thought, whatever it might be.
My one thought
Communicate.
or comment is be that which you seek.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
oh,
That.
okay. She just dropped the mic. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Go ahead, see. I see you. I
Reciprocity.
see you.
Reciprocity in another
Be
form.
that which you
Yeah,
seek.
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
What you
That
looking
Yeah.
for,
wine,
you be that so
Reciprocity
that it comes to you.
reincarnated.
yeah, that wine is working on you.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
you. Tandra.
Live, laugh, love, and it'll come back to
Amen.
you.
Yep.
Okay, okay. OG.
yeah. You got to be honest with yourself. And if you're not
Always.
honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else. So be honest with
Mm.
yourself first.
All right. Talika. Talika.
Since with Malika, you call me T any other time. Why you trying to be different today?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was trying to be
Professional.
professional today. Trying to say your whole name.
Right?
Snapping. Snapping on you, dog.
But
Snap
no,
that
I
neck
would
off.
need, since we're talking about dating, I would just say if it doesn't add value to your life, you don't need it.
Mm.
There it is.
Yeah.
Bam.
Jay. Jay.
Man, value the connection. Value the connection.
Yeah.
It's not always about the impression. You know, you meet
Yeah.
somebody, get the lesson that you're supposed to get. Maybe you're supposed to be telling them
Mhm.
something. You know what I mean? If you
Right.
don't know, next, just lead with do the best that you can.
Right. There it is.
Rob Daisy.
Mhm. I'm gonna say this because it was said earlier, ladies, it's okay to indulge in your sexuality. There's no problem with that. You know, nobody ain't gonna
Yeah.
judge you if they don't know. Y'all be out here telling your damn business. That's how people know what you do.
So what?
Mhm.
So
Indulge in
what?
whatever you want to do. Don't worry about what nobody say. We only have one life to live, and ain't nobody gonna
Amen.
be stepping up to no plate for you to take that back. So, do what you got to do that
Yeah.
make you happy, and if you want to indulge in whatever, do it.
Amen.
All right. All
No,
right.
no regrets.
All right.
No regrets.
I
Again,
enjoyed y'all.
yep,
Yes,
like
thank you, ladies,
you
for
know, man,
joining.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Um,
Thanks for
everybody
having me.
remember next week we're gonna have the fella. It is gonna be 3 or 4 single fellas on next week. Um, simpler, good. Kelly, she'll be hosting that by herself. So that'll be a real good conversation. After that, we're gonna have the ladies from this show and the men from the other show come back for a special show. And we're gonna have a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? A great conversation. Peace. Y'all be easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Home's life.